Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. The fit for this video is DuckTales. Woo! Let's take a look at a video.
Dude, I'm telling you, this book, Case for Christ, the history, it's not even an opinion. He's not saying I want you to believe. He's like, here's the history. Here's why we... Dude, so like, if I said to you, Joe, you believe...
I like it. He's about to start cooking. Let's go, Chris.
All right, let's see it.
Believe everything you've heard about Alexander the Great, right? You believe it, you know, he's fought in these battles, what they say, that you just believe it's Alexander the Great. I'll read his biography. You'd say, yeah, sure. But then you'd be like, oh, but I don't believe, they made the shit about Jesus. Okay, Alexander the Great, because what you'll always hear is, well, the Gospels were written 100+ years after Jesus died.
No, they were written between 40 and maybe 80 or 90 years after Jesus died.
Alexander the Great's first biography was written like 300 years after he died. So that right there is like, well, the historians of Jesus were much closer in time than, say, Alexander.
So this is inaccurate and misleading. The first biographies written about Alexander the Great do not come from 300 years after his death. The first biographies written about Alexander the Great that still survive to this day come from a little under 300 years after his death. But they all quote by name from multiple earlier biographies and histories that no longer survive, except for in quotations scattered around a number of different texts. We know of at least 5 different people, better attested in the historical record than Jesus, who traveled with Alexander the Great, who were writing histories and biographies about Alexander the Great, either along the way or just after Alexander's death. Callisthenes was an official historian of Alexander the Great, who died before Alexander the Great, but wrote an extensive history that would later be criticized within a century later by Polybius for being extravagant and for claiming impossible things about Alexander the Great. Ptolemy was a general who wrote a history. Nearchus, Aristobulus.
Damn, I fucking love onions. I want to bite into a raw onion. That sounds great.
Onesicritus wrote a very inaccurate.
Saw this today. PLS watch.
I don't eat meat.
Biography that was criticized by everybody around him. All 5 of these people also had biographies written about them by multiple other authors in the century or two after.
Okay, I don't know why it keeps muting.
Bro, you have to watch this. This is the funniest shit. This channel does parodies of the Darman style videos.
Coming up on tomorrow's teachings.
You can tell me.
I've seen this guy's channel. None of his videos are funny. They're bloated, overly long, and boring as shit. People were sending me videos of his yesterday. None of them are worth watching. They're garbage. Thanks for the donation, dude.
What brand of B12 under tongue do you use?
B12 under tongue do I use? I just eat B12 and vitamin D3 gummies. They're made by Herbaland. Thanks for the donation, Jalen.
After Alexander's death. Theophrastus was a friend of Callisthenes who wrote about Alexander the Great putting Callisthenes to death. But we have other historians who say, no, that's not how Callisthenes died. He died in this other way. The earliest surviving history or biography of Alexander the Great is by Diodorus Siculus, who was writing in the middle of the 1st century BCE. Now, if we only focus on biographies, we are severely limiting the material evidence for Alexander the Great. For instance, we have numerous coins depicting Alexander the Great as Heracles in his lion headdress with Alexander's name on the other side of the coin that were minted during Alexander's life and then by his generals who were fighting over control of different parts of his empire during what's known as the Diadochi, the Wars of Succession. We also have Babylonian inscriptions like these.
Would it be non-vegan to take the allergy meds my fiancé door-dashed to my house that accidentally turned out to have gelatin in the capsules? I really want to, but I'd if that would be vegan or not.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think so. So maybe just dump them in the trash or try to get a refund. Thanks for the donation, Cyclic. Jasmine! Faye's growling at me.
That discuss Alexander the Great's death, that were written within a year of his death, or that discuss his activities during his life or shortly after his death. The material remains that directly attest to the life and even the action.
Jasmine, BMO's still downstairs. Mohammed donated $2. Can't wait to see the debate between you and the Muslim metaphysician. Also, can you upload the debate on YouTube just in case I miss it live? Thanks. He said he can't do the debate until like June or some shit. So, or later in, or did he say July? I can't even remember. I don't know. Usually when I hear stupid shit like that, it's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. If I do debate him, yeah, I'll upload it. Thanks for the donation, Mohammed.
Are you feeling sore after the workout? How many new Frank vids to watch?
I'm not feeling sore yet, but by tomorrow I will probably feel sore. There is one new Frank vid to watch that will watch in a little bit. I want to finish this video and then watch this video, then we'll watch Frank. Thanks for the donation, James.
Actions of Alexander the Great are absolutely overwhelming, and they are often criticized for exaggerating, for elaborating, for making stuff up. So historians are very consistent about how they treat the weights of historical evidence for different figures, and the notion that the evidence for Jesus, as found in the Gospels, can compare in any way, shape, or form whatsoever to the evidence we have for both the life and the activities of Alexander the Great.
Hi VG. I really and truthfully hope that you are feeling great tonight. So, check out what the Biden administration did to give overtime to salaried employees making less than $55,000/year.
What the new overtime rule means for workers: one of the basic principles, fair labor, blah, blah, blah. When most workers work more than 40 hours a week, they get paid more. Department of Labor's new overtime regulation is restoring and extending this promise for millions more lower paid salary workers in the U.S. Overtime protection have been a critical part of the FLSA since 1938. Some workers are specifically exempt from the FLA's minimum wage and overtime protections, including bona fide executive, administrative, professional employees. Who will be eligible for overtime pay under the final rule. Most salaried workers earning less than $684 per week, $35K per year, $844 per week, $43 per year, $1,128 per week, $58K per year. Rule also increased the total annual compensation required for highly compensated employees who are not entitled to overtime pay. Okay, cool. That sounds good. Thanks for the donation, Ben. Dodo donated $2.
That's how I invented tangential flight, because you're mad. Someone programmed that lie in there and lied to you and everyone, and all your fundamentals are off.
Well,
That's
certainly now. I mean, I don't even know what to think.
You heard that heard that I said 1 × 1 = 2.
Do you know what just
Did you?
happened?
Wait, you heard that I said both of y'all
I was
had
bad
heard
at math. I was horrible at
both
it.
of y'all had heard that I said 1 × 1 = 2, didn't you? You had heard it somewhere. Somebody. That wasn't the first.
Yeah, I'd heard it. I'd heard it.
And then everybody said I was crazy.
Yeah, they did say that.
Well, am I crazy or is the calculator broke?
I mean, are those my only two options?
What do you think? What do you think? Or
Science requires open mind. There is an absence of open mind.
When I say Earth is round, you're not being open-minded by saying, I wonder if it could also be flat. You have to know the evidence is sufficient to have established an objectively true understanding of the natural world. And then you move on. And if people don't have those tools to make that judgment, they will think that they are being bravely skeptical and bravely open-minded by standing in denial of what entire bodies of scientific evidence produce. That's an aspect of it. Not only that, we live in a world where, because the internet connects us all and social media makes us all friends, you can type in any crazy idea you have and it will find every other person in this world who shares that crazy idea. You'll even find the website that extols that crazy idea, and you will believe that you're onto something simply because other people have a
You have no case on your phone, so you're a risk taker.
Right. You can think of it as risk taking, or when I got the phone, I said, let me do this with it. Okay.
Flip it around?
Yes.
Okay.
And I reminded myself, in the military cadets, why do they twirl their...
I watched that recent vegan power lab vid. He is a power lifter H, 180 centimeters. W, 80 kilograms. His name is Chip and he is from Romania.
Alright, cool. I don't know if I've seen any of his videos yet, but thanks for the donation, James.
gun. Of what possible value is this in combat? And then I realized you're not supposed to drop your gun, ever.
You have no...
Okay.
The differences are so massive. On average, again, I've seen the pictures of you as a...
Let's go to scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson, who had something interesting to say about how men and women competition could change in, say, 100 years.
It is male and female in this way. I'm imagining 100 years from now looking back and say, do you know, back 100 years ago, they split boys and girls and they couldn't compete. And I was like, that'd just be kind of a little weird.
I don't know, Neil, because the
I can imagine thinking how weird that is.
I can imagine that too. But the differences are so massive. On average, again, I've seen the pictures of you as a college wrestler.
Listen to me.
But the average woman is not going to be able to take... The average woman wrestler is not going to be able to take down you when you were in your peak. Okay, maybe the
Michael,
best female
You
wrestler.
sound like you're an old man on the porch in a rocking chair right now. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you, you are criticizing something that is in need of modification.
Sage.
All those links you gave me are garbage. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Poopy don't need $2. Is this real? Trans flag bullets. Okay. Midwestern marks like Nazi tweet on his alt account. I have a lot of Nazi bullshit on my timeline lately because I've been criticizing their ideology, blah, blah, blah. Motherfuckers going mask off now. I don't know what this is. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Is absolutely laughable.
And even furthermore, back then, like the ancient Hebrews, they didn't have, before writing, they didn't write anything, so they would memorize the Old Testament and the
21st Savage $92. Why are you a bald black queer? Because I just shaved my head. Thanks for the donation, 21st Savage.
Scripture. So that you had guys that they would pass down, right? They knew 5,000 pages of book inside of their head.
That's a great point.
No, the claim that ancient Hebrews memorized 5,000 pages of text before writing is not a great point. Scholars have been studying the oral transmission of social traditions and their commitment to text for many, many years, and they've been taking that research and applying it to the study of the text of the Hebrew Bible. And while there's a lot of great insight to be found in that, the notion that it somehow elevates the historicity of the text that we find in the Hebrew Bible is nonsensical.
That most of the stuff we take at face value, that history just kind of believes. We omit that there's more manuscripts and they're closer to Jesus's actual life than there are any other character from antiquity.
That claim is just pure and utter nonsense. There are numerous historical figures for whom we have direct historical attestation contemporary to their lives and their activity.
Only thing I would add to that is that the dates are even closer. The first Gospels were written 100 years after. They were written like 20, 30 years after. So, and there was books like 1 Corinthians was probably written 10 to 15 years after. I believe 1 Corinthians was written in 40 or 50 AD. So there's books that predate the actual Gospels that were in the New Testament.
So I would suggest that
Beijing donated $2. Let me see. Cyberpunk upside down trains, whose government didn't blow trillions on wars and holds nearly $1 trillion in U.S. debt, on which it collects $125 million in interest payments each day. This guy's an absolute fucking retard. China has a greater amount of debt than the United States, for one thing.
There is no scientific evidence for Jesu's plan and simple.
Yes, that's true. Thanks for that donation, Dodo. Yeah, so China holds more national debt than the United States. Secondly, these trains are fucking stupid. They do nothing. They're a complete waste of money. You can find places in the U.S. that have like monorail systems and crap. They're garbage. They don't transport large amounts of people. They're just there to make a city look pretty. Secondly, China is spending a massive amount of its GDP on the military now, now that they plan to invade Taiwan. So I don't know what the fuck this idiot's talking about. What's this shit?
I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, just look at this. Just look at this. What on earth is going?
Oh my god, LED lights in a mall. Wow, I'm shocked. I'm from Kansas in bumfuck nowhere. I've never seen anything like this. China's better than the United States. So is this guy a Chinese bot who's just... Yeah, this guy has to be a Chinese bot. So he just cherry picks pretty looking places in China and acts as if this is the normal life of your average Chinese citizen. Like, dude, what's the GDP split? I think per capita, China has 1/5 the GDP per capita as the United States. You think they're actually living better lives in China? Like, what an idiot. I guess that's why so many Chinese citizens are trying to hop the border from Mexico into the United States and get a green card because China's so great. Jesus donated $2, good testimony. Let me see.
For more debates, updates, and bonus content, sign up at thebigconversation.show.
Okay, I'll watch this later.
Those dates are a little overly enthusiastic. But again, we have material.
I sometimes eat meat, but I generally don't eat meat.
We're all humans, we're all animals. Let's just hug. You know?
We're all animals.
You know what I mean?
Are you vegan?
We're all the same.
That's the way to
Fuck
go.
Brexit as well.
There is no justification, and you should be aware of that.
Let's do this experiment. Okay. How important is consent to you?
What do you mean by consent?
Like you consenting. Let's put it in a situation so that it's easier. Let's say somebody wants to take you back to their home. Mm-hmm. How important is consent to you?
I mean, obviously it's important that I agree because I don't want to get to somebody I don't want to go.
Yeah.
So it's important, but
yeah.
What's the context?
Well, just this. This one person from the street, a stranger, let's say.
Ian, I disagree, Hunsley. I love both boobs and ass.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for sharing with us, Dodo. Appreciate the donation.
Wants to take you back to their home.
Yeah.
How important is consent?
Very important.
Very important. Okay, I like that. And I'm going to throw some hypotheticals out there to get you to...
Dodo donated $2. Let me see.
Commissioner Clayton Lopez has got beef. Where are the chickens?
Everywhere. They're everywhere.
Entire chicken families are crossing roads.
This is not bad. Just one chicken.
A resolution by Lopez, now law, bans feeding chickens in public property.
What I am looking to do is to try and address the health issues of humans as well as the chickens.
Droppings can spread disease. There's property damage. Chickens are run over by cars. Chicks fall into storm drains, and roosters crow at all hours. Rescued chickens are sent to farms in mainland Florida, but it's impossible to catch them all. How did it get like this?
It's the oldest image we have of chickens in Key West.
Key West historian Corey Malcolm tells the tale of the tail feathers.
Chickens were very much a part of early Key West.
Brought in the 1820s by the first settlers.
The tradition of raising
supermarkets meant homeowners let their chickens loose in a 2-by-4 mile island with no natural predators. Mitigation has failed. A city-employed chicken catcher in the 2000s quit after swift backlash from chicken enthusiasts.
Here, chickens are as much a tourist attraction as the southernmost point. They're also a popular sight.
Chickens are pretty awesome. Fuck donate $2. Whose side are you on here? Crazy vid. Student completely knocks out another student because her boyfriend cheated on her.
I didn't. Are you trying to fuck with him right now? Sober the fuck up before I sober you up. No, I didn't do shit with him. Are you trying to fuck with him right now? Ew, no. Why is that what everyone's telling you? I don't know. Be straight up with me. Do not give me no fucking Do not give me no fucking I only have him on snap. And you've been snapping him. He wants to fuck with you. I don't want to fuck with him. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do.
If you're getting into fights over somebody cheating on you, you need to grow up. Part 2.
The Holy Spirit. Yeah. By your own confession, you're condemned.
Do you buy seitan from the store or do you make your own? There's an Instagram account called Fit Green Mind and she posts tons of vegan recipes. Followed her seitan recipe and it was really easy and tasted great.
I only really make my own seitan. I've not seen too many seitan products in store. I've seen a few like seitan ribs here and there that I've gotten, but usually when I have seitan, I just make it myself. Thanks for the donation, Elroy.
Yes.
Yeah. Say nowadays. God.
Okay, whatever.
Love you.
Don't care.
Just to think a bit. Okay, what if you would be passed out and can't remember? Do you think consent matters?
Yeah, sure.
Even if you can't remember what they're going to do, they'll bring you back to the same.
Dodo donated $2. Liar. Let me see.
All right. Also, in that Fox interview, Trump was asked why he never went after Hillary Clinton for her use of a private email server while she was Secretary of State. I'm going to take an issue with that question because, let me tell you, as someone who covered it day in and day out.
My God, she punched her because her BF shade on her. My God, I don't want to sound sex set, but what is wrong with women these days?
Yeah. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
That matter was brought up frequently through the 2016 election. Watch.
They all said lock her up, and I felt, and I could have done it, but I felt it would have been a terrible thing. And then this happened to me. And so I may feel differently about it. Like Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up. Okay. Then
he did say lock her up.
And I said pretty openly, I say, all right, come on, just relax. Let's go. We got to make our country great.
So he points at himself and he says, I didn't say lock her up. Yes, you did.
Tell you what, for what she's done, they should lock her up. She's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Hillary Clinton has to go to jail, okay? She has to go to jail. You should lock them up. Lock up the Bidens. Lock up Hillary.
Okay, then threw the Bidens in there for good.
Yep.
Place.
Yeah, obviously, because
okay.
I mean, I don't remember, but still, like I'm the person, right? So I should decide.
What if, let's say, let's take a different person and they're mentally.
This clip is so frustrating. MTG is so close to making a good point, but she doesn't actually care about animal testing. She's just using the issue to cheaply attack Fauci. Start clip at 50 seconds mark.
Let me take a look.
You represent science. Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci? Yes or no? Yes or no?
No, that's not a yes or no
Yes,
answer.
it's a yes or no.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well, we'll take that as a you don't know what you represent.
Oh,
But this, as director of the NIH, you did sign off on these so-called scientific experiments. And as a dog lover, I want to tell you this is disgusting and evil, what you signed off on, and these experiments that happened to beagles paid for by the American taxpayer. And I want you to know Americans don't pay their taxes for animals to be tortured like this. So the type of science that you are representing, Mr. Fauci, is
Thanks for that
abhorrent,
membership, Aaron.
and it needs to stop.
As a dog lover, it really pisses me off too. Let me know in the comments if you're a dog lover.
Mr. Fauci, you also represent the
Yes, send Trump start to prison where he can riot for the rest of his worthless life.
Yes, thanks for the donation, Dodo.
type of science that where you confess that you made up the COVID rules, including
I didn't hear what you
6
said.
feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You
I
made it
didn't
up
say
as you went.
I made it up.
So are you saying this is fake news, Mr.
I
Fauci?
didn't say I made anything up.
What did you say?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
But this is science.
What does dogs have to do with anything that we're talking about today?
These are scientific experiments. This is what you signed off on. But you also told the American people they had to distance by 6 feet. They had to.
Yeah, she could have made a much stronger point about animal welfare and animal rights, but, you know, she's an idiot.
Challenged, or they're not intelligent enough to understand the concept of consent. Does consent still matter?
Sure.
Of course. Yeah, of course. I like that. Okay. What if they look different? They have a different skin color. They're, I don't know, have a lot of hair or something. Does consent matter?
Yeah, sure. I think.
They'll make sense at the end.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, I like that. Okay, what if the person who wants to take you back to their home or that other person really wants to do it?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Because
Consent?
that's what I want to do.
Exactly, consent still matters. Okay, what if it benefits the other person? It gives them pleasure or something.
Still doesn't matter. I mean, it matters if I want to do it and it pleasures the other person. It's all right because it benefits both of us, right?
Yeah, but let's say, even if it benefited you, if it's against your consent, would you still need consent? Like if they say, well, if I take this person back to my house, they're definitely gonna love it. Do you think consent would still matter in that?
Sure.
Oh, okay, consent still matters, okay. What if a lot of people are doing it? For some reason, you're in a foreign country, everybody's doing it.
Still doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Consent? You would still need consent. Okay, I like that. What if it's legal? Does legality change it?
No.
Okay. And what if people, like a lot of people are doing it and for a long time and it's part of their tradition? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change it. Consent would still matter. Yeah. Okay. And all of these questions have been leading to this one question at the end. But before I do that, I just want to reiterate that it doesn't matter what the person looks like. It doesn't matter what state they're in. It doesn't matter whether you can understand what's happening or not. Or if the other person wants to do it, if it benefits them, or if everybody's been doing it for a long time, consent still matters.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? And this is my final question. And I'm not trying to catch up on this one because this is what the whole experiment has been leading into. What do you think about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us? Do you think consent matters in those situations?
Well, that's a good question. Because I think we give a specific type of consent, right? Because we can talk.
Yeah.
But how do we know if they give consent?
Well, if there's people who cannot talk, how do we know if they give consent?
We don't.
We don't. But we still ask for consent.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you think we ask for consent when we force animals into slaughterhouses? No.
Obviously we don't.
No. Okay. So how do you feel about this topic in general? Like, how do you feel about animals going into slaughterhouses?
You mean like with
Do you feel it's right? Do you think it's wrong? How do you feel about it?
I personally, I don't eat meat
Okay.
as a start. So, I mean, I sometimes eat meat, but I generally don't eat meat. And I think it's a controversial topic. No, it's not. Because, like, moral and stuff, I don't think you can justify putting all the animals in this type of situation. You cannot. I mean, you can say because, okay, it's my pleasure, I want to eat animals by example, but it's not a good justification. It's not. Any justification, it won't be it. I mean, you can do that if you want to, okay, just do it, but there is no justification, you should be aware of that. That's my opinion.
I'll come back to you. What do you think about it?
Yes, I think it's very hard to say something about that because yes, it's absolute. The moral about the topic is very it's not good. So, but I'm not a good example because I eat meat. So
do you
it's
find
very
it immoral? Immoral? Do you find it? Do you
Yes,
find it
of
immoral?
course.
Yeah. So then, if you find it immoral and yet you still participate in it, doesn't that make it a contradiction?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But in today's century, we are very comfortable.
Yeah.
So.
But do you think that should dictate whether we force this animal?
So of course it's very unmoral. So
yeah,
I think every human here know that's very unmoral and that the animals deserve a better life.
Yeah.
But was heißt Umfeld?
The surrounding, like the people surround you.
Yes, the people surround me and the conditions around us doesn't give to the people that it's unmoral. So it's very difficult for us.
But you see, that's why I asked these questions, right? Because one of the questions is, what if everybody's doing it? Does it make it better? It doesn't, right?
No, it doesn't.
So in that sense, even if everybody does it around you, doesn't necessarily mean that you doing it is okay, does it?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So then, because I sit here and I have conversations with people, I try to have productive conversations with people regarding veganism. Do you know what veganism is?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Can you just...
So also, we are coming from Germany, and also in Germany there's a very big debate about the veganism. And
yeah, it is.
But yes, I think that a lot of people that are try to die das halt so rüberbringen wollen, die try to...
Was willst du sagen?
Ja, die das halt übermitteln wollen, die diesen Veganismus durchsetzen wollen.
Ja, und was ist mit denen?
Ja, die machen das halt teilweise falsch.
Okay, he's trying to say that the people who support veganism are supporting it wrongly because there actually is a German woman, and she's extreme, and she...
Oh, they're talking about militant vegan? Oh my god. Dude, it's so retarded. They say it's, they admit they're contradicting themselves when they say it's wrong to force animals into slaughterhouses. But then they say, well, I'm still going to support it, even though it's wrong. But then they say it's wrong to force people to go vegan. Like, if they're fine with forcing animals to go into a slaughterhouse, then I don't know how they have any logically consistent basis to say it's wrong to force people to go vegan.
Shouts at people, and she...
And I think it's a
we
wrong...
can talk about that a bit later. I understand what you mean, but well, what do you think veganism is before we dive into that?
Well, people who live vegan, that's veganism for me.
Yeah, but what is it? Like,
Well,
what does it mean to live vegan?
Not eating meat, not containing, not like...
Animal products.
Yeah, no animal products in every part of your life.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's clothing, if it's food, if it's, I don't know, whatever.
And why do you think we do that?
Well, because of the animals.
Exactly. So veganism is a moral principle. It's not a diet. It's not anything else. It's a moral principle and a lifestyle where we oppose the commodification of animals. That means we don't want animals to be treated as objects, right? Because in all of these industries, if you think about the animal agriculture, animals are treated like objects, right? The farmers care for them, but the minute they're no longer useful to the farmer or they don't make money for the farmer, they're gone. They go to a slaughterhouse, right? So in that sense, they are pretty much just like objects.
Yeah.
and we don't want them to be exploited. So what about that? Do you find relatable to you? Would you agree with that definition? Would you say, I align with that? Do you align with that definition of not exploiting animals?
Generally, yes.
Generally. What does generally mean?
Yeah, I mean, thing is, I'm not vegan, right? So I can't say I align with it because.
Yeah, I agree with the idea of not murdering animals, but I'm still gonna murder animals. Like, what the fuck is this shit? People are, rotten scumbags. Like, this is why I hate most people. It's not even just the, like, vegan thing that I have a problem with. Most people have, like, no fucking strong moral code where even when they recognize something's wrong, they'll still do it, they'll still support it, they'll still be complicit, they won't speak out, they'll follow whatever fucking asshole, like, tells them to do. Like, most people are just fucking scumbags who have no moral backbone. Like, I figured this out before I even went vegan, and then veganism just made me realize that even fucking more.
Because I don't live with the standards.
Before we go on to that, let's just test the morals, the moral aspect of
Yeah,
it,
well,
right?
the moral aspect, it's obviously.
Yeah.
There is no reason to not, like, justify that.
I like that. Okay. So then what you're having difficulty is aligning your own actions with your own morals. That's what you're telling me, right? So then what is it, where are you having difficulty with? What is it that is keeping you from not exploiting animals?
Well, I think it's the own pleasure of people. They are used to it. Like, for example, eating meat. They are used to eating meat.
What do you say to people who claim that Hamas isn't a terrorist group, that it's just a lie spread by the media because the media is controlled by Jews? I'm not well read on the topic, and this guy was telling me how Palestine hasn't actually killed kids.
They're fucking delusional retards. Hamas themselves videoed using GoPros the October 7th attack. They've literally videotaped themselves committing acts of terrorism, mass murdering innocent civilians, murdering children, kidnapping women. By definition, a terrorist is somebody who commits acts of violence for the purpose of some sort of political goal. So, by definition, they're a terrorist group. They commit acts of violence to support some sort of political or religious goal that they have. And I mean, what lies are they talking about? Like, we can look at, there's a long, long list of terror attacks attributed to Hamas. It's not just the October 7th attack. Hamas is responsible for some mass stabbings. They've been responsible for bus bombings. They've been responsible for attacking politicians. There's a long, long list of attacks that Hamas is responsible for. So if they're going to say that the Israeli government has lied about some of these attacks, ask them to name which attacks specifically, like which attacks have been lied about, and ask them to provide evidence that Hamas didn't, in fact, conduct these attacks. They're not going to be able to do that because Hamas has actually taken responsibility for all of these attacks. They want people to know that they're responsible and they did it. So it's just insane, especially when you have the terror group literally filming the attacks they conduct, and when they don't film it, they still publicly take responsibility for all of these fucking terror attacks. It's retarded. So that person's just drinking the fucking terrorist Kool-Aid. Thanks for the donation, Jesus Christ. Vegan Tranny donating $2. Ephilism is based. I don't know how you can think of any amount of pleasure and well-being can outweigh something like, for example, a baby pig being tail clipped without an anesthetic. You don't actually believe that, do you? So if we're going by, Amendum's definition of ephilism, it makes absolutely no sense. That's why I don't have an interest in debating ephilism with him, because if we're going to go by his definition, it's question begging. I already had the debate on moral realism with him because he's a moral realist, and I was able to prove that he was just equivocating. So his definition of ethylism hinges on the idea of moral realism, and his definition of moral realism is an equivocation. And if you look up his definition of ethylism, it's also question begging. It makes no logical sense. If we were to be charitable and just ignore his definition of ethylism and just go by some general principle that there's no amount of suffering that justifies any amount of well-being, okay, that's just personal preference. No pleasure is infinite, and no suffering is infinite. So you can bring up things like, okay, baby pigs being tail docked or smashed on a concrete floor or whatever type of suffering you want to bring up. None of it is infinite. They're going to suffer a finite degree. And same with well-being. So you can say, okay, well, there is bad suffering in the world, but they're not going to suffer infinitely, and we're moving towards a world that has less of this suffering. So based on my calculations of how I weigh suffering versus well-being, it makes sense to continue existing. But I mean, it's like arguing about pineapple on pizza. If you personally don't think the amount of well-being in the world justifies suffering, well, that's your personal preference, just like how some people might prefer pineapple on pizza. Like, I don't care. It's not an interesting, it's just not an interesting debate. Thanks for the donation, though, Vegan Tranny.
They grew up eating meat. It's not justifying that.
Yes, I think we're at a real risk of world war at the moment, and I just wish everybody would just chill out, take a break, you know what I mean, and just think we're all humans, we're all animals.
These people know what they're doing but don't make any attempt to make a meaningful change. How is it so fucking hard to just not harm animals? These people are just pure scum to be okay with animal abuse and should not exist ASAP.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. Thanks for the donation, Lemon. According to a pro-Palestinian I know, they claim Hamas came into power by Israeli funding. They didn't. So, Hamas won elections. They were elected democratically. Netanyahu explained why he initially helped give some funding towards Hamas. At the time, for one thing, they weren't a terror group. They were a charity. Secondly, he didn't want the Palestinian population to not have any elected leaders at the time, so he allowed Hamas to be elected democratically. They were a charity group at the time, and Israel was just showing goodwill to the new elected leaders. What they ended up doing was they became a terror group and started, committing fucking bus bombings and shit like that, and then eventually shooting rockets. And that's what it led to. Hindsight is always going to be 2020. So, yeah, knowing what we know now, it wasn't a good idea to allow Hamas to win democratic elections. But again, knowing what people knew at the time, would it have made sense for Israel to have done another invasion of Gaza and wipe out democratically elected officials? What would the international community have said? Oh, it's a genocide. Oh, Israel evil. So, there's no winning. These pro-Palestinian idiots will say, oh, Israel fucking propped up Hamas so that they could commit this invasion. Okay, if we had an alternate history where Israel invaded Gaza and wiped out Hamas, either before or after the democratically held elections, while Hamas was still a charity group, guess what the fucking pro-Palestinian cucks would have said? Oh, Israel's genocidal. They're wiping out a fucking charity organization. They're killing democratically elected officials. So, there's no winning. There's no winning. Anytime Israel shows goodwill to Palestinians, oh, Israel was just planning this so that they could justify another invasion and wipe out Palestinians. And then if they do what they should have done in the past, oh, Israel's committing a genocide. They're destroying democratically elected officials who are just running a charity group. There's no winning. Israel is always evil no matter what they do because these pro-Palestinian morons just hate Jews. That's all it is. It is nothing but anti-Semitism. So when you look at these arguments and you see what they're actually saying, all of this relies on hatred of Jewish people and anti-Semitism. It has no fucking logical basis behind it.
Let's just hug.
Said we're all animals.
You know what I mean?
Are you vegan?
I'm not a vegan, no, but...
Well, you said we're all animals.
We are all animals. We are
Should we send animals into slaughterhouses?
We are intelligent apes. We are. We are the most intelligent species on planet Earth. Putin needs... I don't know where I'm going with this, but why is someone like Putin sending people to their deaths? Why? Why?
We can have a conversation, but I was having a conversation with them afterwards. If you want, you can wait and we can have a conversation afterwards, okay?
What's wrong about eating eggs or something like this?
Yeah. So I can go into all of this. So first of all, we oppose the idea that animals should be exploited. Within the egg industry, animals are also exploited. And you might think, oh, it's a little bit of exploitation. It's not that bad. Or that's kind of how people see it, that chickens lay eggs and farmers just pick them up and they go about your day. But the chickens that lay eggs, for
Vegan Games is such a brainless retard when it comes to politics. Okay, so I'm going to ban you unless you come debate me in Discord. So I'm going to open up my Discord. I'm going to put the link in chat. And if you don't come in and debate me, I'm going to ban you. I'll give you 5 minutes, okay? So there's the link. And if Topher Crump doesn't come in, I'm going to fucking ban you, okay? Does that sound fair? Fuck you, retard. So, come on. Jump in my Discord. If I'm such a retard about geopolitics, I don't know nothing about the Israel-Palestine conflict, come in and debate me. Okay? I'm waiting. Or, here's the alternative. You can apologize and take back what you just said. Weird, I'm not hearing a peep from Topher Crump anymore. Crickets, what's going on? I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. What's going on? Why aren't you in the fucking Discord?
Man, you got 405. I know you're trying to play it safe. When you finally put 405 on the bar, it's going to fucking fly. My 1 rep max has dropped down to 365. When I start working out full time again, I'm gonna play it safe too.
Well, thanks, dude. I'm pretty confident I could bench 405 right now. I want to accumulate up as high as I possibly can before attempting it, just to prevent the risk of injury. But thanks for the donation, Killing Titan. Appreciate it.
I thought you were all Zen mode after your shroom trip, talking about internalizing nihilism and all that. What happened to Chill Happy Richard, the changed man? Did Jasmine not share her poop with you? Did your brown purple hat cock go soft? Be happy.
Oh, I am happy and content, but if somebody's acting retarded, I'm still gonna call it retardation. Okay, so you're banned, dumbass. See you later. Guess I'm not so stupid after all.
For example, they come from hatcheries, and in hatcheries, there's, of course, it's a place where chickens hatch from eggs, and there's a 50-50 chance that there would be either male or female. If they are male, they are useless to the egg-laying industry, and they don't grow up because they're different chickens to the chickens that you eat normally. So they just get shredded up alive in their first day of life. They go into an industrial blender on their first day of life. So there's that.
For making money.
Can you say that again? Well, because they're useless to the industry. They don't produce anything. They're products to them. That's what they are, right? They're products that they don't need, so they get rid of them. They dispose of them. And a normal chicken, like a wild chicken, would normally lay 12 to 15 eggs a year. But these chickens have been selectively bred to lay an egg almost every day. And that is already very consuming on their bodies and all of this. And you know, in sanctuaries where they rescue chicken, they lay eggs every day. But what they do is they take the eggs and they smash them on the ground, and the chickens come pecking at it because they lack the nutrients. Because I mean, all of these chickens are what, this big, and an egg is like this big. Imagine taking an arm out of yourself every single day. That's pretty. It's pretty consuming, isn't it? And you can imagine, because it's their periods. Imagine having your period almost every day for your life, for your whole life. It is consuming, isn't it? Yeah, so that's kind of what it is with eggs. Do you know about the dairy industry?
Yeah, sure.
No, my rent is $2,200 a month. I just figured it's easier to reach a dono goal of 500 per stream. So I just put that up.
Do you know what happens in the dairy industry?
Well, the animals are treated.
Dude, I wish my rent was only $500 a month. Holy fuck, that'd just be fucking amazing. That'd make life so much easier.
Badly.
Yeah, but do you know, like, anything about the practices or anything?
Well, there was a video actually from a German YouTuber, and
Yeah.
he went to like a big farm where they showed all the animals.
Yeah.
And they showed pigs and cows and how they were treated.
Yeah.
So like a little, but I'm obviously not.
So I'll just give you a quick representation, because also probably dairy, a lot of people don't realize that. So cows produce milk for their babies. They're mammals, just like us. We produce milk when we need to be pregnant to produce milk, right? And farmers don't just wait for cows to get them pregnant whenever they want to, but rather they forcefully impregnate them. Somebody puts their hands in their anus, holds their cervix, and then injects bull semen. The bull semen has also got like a really weird method where they put an anal dildo in the bull with the electrocute to stimulate them, and then when they ejaculate, they take the semen. It's kind of fucked up already. But this isn't even the messed up part. The messed up part is that
Vegan Tranny donated $2 as well. Ephilism is just a non-speciesist extension of antinatalism. No, it's not. There's pretty big differences. Ephilism is the idea of preventing people from having children and reproducing. Sorry, antinatalism is the idea of preventing people from reproducing and having children. Ephilism is the idea of wiping out somebody who's already alive. So there's a pretty huge difference. Do you know the gold mana argument? I'm not familiar with it. What's your response? Do you think there's a dissimilarity? I've never heard of the argument, so you'd have to explain it to me. Thanks for the donation, Vegan Tranny. If you want, you can hop into Discord and we can debate it.
Well, this is messed up. If you ask me, it's kind of because cows don't agree to any of this. They don't consent to it, yet this happens to them. But after 9 months, when the baby is born, they separate the babies from the mother because the milk has to go for human consumption, not for the babies. Some farmers will say, well, we let them drink, but they very little. They have very little time with their mother. They always get separated, both in the dairy and in the meat industry. That this happens. And if in the dairy industry, if the baby is a male, they're useless to the industry. They don't produce milk, so of course they're classed as waste products. So they get raised up to 1 year and then slaughtered, or slaughtered directly, or even so. There's even farms in Netherlands, I think, where animal welfare is pretty high standards, and they found that I think like 70% of farms were just leaving them to die of hunger in their barns, which is also horrific. And if they're female, they get put in the same cycle as their mothers, year over year, forceful impregnation, until like 6 to 8 years, when they can no longer justify keeping them alive, and like financially, right? Because afterwards they produce way less milk, so farmers say, we got to send them to the slaughterhouse at this year. And they can live up to 20 years, so they don't live even half their life. So would you say that that's a very awful thing to do to these beings?
Yeah.
Yes, after explaining it, yes.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yes, it's very horrible.
Yeah, this is what got me vegan. Hearing about this and learning about this is what got me vegan. This is standard practice, biological, free range, all of it is the same. It gets even worse in certain situations, but this is across the board standard practice.
Yes, in my opinion, it's very, very good that you're explaining it so well to the people on the street. And
yeah.
So it's not regular that people know everything about veganism.
It's insane.
Like you do. So
yeah. That's why I want to have these conversations with people, because a lot of people are unaware of what they're paying for, right? And knowing this, what do you feel about
it? Did Mrs. Kumar shave your already balding head?
No, I did that myself. Thanks for the donation, Richard Burgess of Nazareth.
Do you feel you want to keep contributing to this industry?
That's a tough question. May I ask, how long have you been vegan for?
It's been 2.5 years now, and I was vegetarian for 6 before that.
And what changed your mind?
From vegetarian to vegan, hearing about this, about the dairy industry, and realizing I can't justify any of it, like, no matter how I spin it. And the reality is that you have so many options nowadays in supermarkets that, oh no, I have to drink, instead of normal yogurt, I'll have to get soy yogurt or something. They taste so similar that it's like, yeah, there's a difference in taste, but not enough to justify doing this to them. So.
Yeah.
But was there someone like you who convinced you to be?
No, I watched it I watched some videos online, and that convinced me.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't some.
Maybe Discord another time. I'm sucking dick right now. But anyways, what amount of suffering or direness would reach a threshold where it's ethical to wipe out all life despite the rights violation? According to your ethical framework.
I don't know exactly what the threshold would be, but there certainly is one. If if virtually or all sentient beings were experiencing nothing but suffering and no well-being from the moment they're born till they die, and there's just this infinite cycle of horrible torture, then yeah, I'd be in favor of just wiping out every conscious creature. I don't know though, like if there was like perpetual World War II where like the entire world was just constantly at war with each other, and there were certain nations that were trying to holocaust other nations, like I'd probably be in favor of wiping out all conscious life at that point. I'm not exactly sure where my threshold would be. But thanks for the donation, Vegan Tranny.
Somebody. I don't know if I had met somebody what I would have thought, but
he says all that, and she's still like, I don't know, when asked if she'll still support that system of abuse. What a fucking bitch.
Well, yeah, these people are being incredibly dishonest. They're recognizing that what they're doing is wrong, that they're contradicting themselves, and then they're saying, I don't know if I'll change. Like, they're just dickheads. Thanks for the donation, Lemon. If a vegan is blind or needs support, what should they do? Should they just use the government solution, get a guide dog, or use another option. Might cost too much to hire humans 24/7. It's pretty rare that people need like a guide dog. I've met quite a few blind people in like Toronto, and they can get around just fine using like a walking stick. They can also use their phone with apps that just, you know, use audio to tell them where they are, and they can just ask for help from people around them. So guide dogs are pretty rare. I don't know too much about this. I don't know when guide dogs are even used to help blind people. But I think it's an antiquated idea now that we have smartphones.
Chip is based, am I right? Vegan Power Lab. Do you realize this is the guy you debated about wild animal intervention? Also, what's the difference between sentience and consciousness?
Oh, that's him. I didn't realize it was the same guy. There's not necessarily a difference between sentience and consciousness. It depends on what definition of consciousness you're using. Consciousness can refer to being in a awakened state. So if you're in a coma, you're not technically conscious, but you're still sentient. If you're sleeping, you're not technically conscious, but you're still sentient. But consciousness can be used interchangeably with sentience. It just depends on what definition of consciousness you're using or how you're using it. So they can be used interchangeably. Thanks for the donation. Clip is based.
But I would definitely have looked into it. So I hope that you at least get this from this conversation, that you should look further into it and decide whether you want to pay for this or not. But before we get to that point where we end this conversation, yes, I want to know how you feel in this moment. Like, what is your brain telling you? What is your gut telling you? Do you want to contribute to this?
Yes, in this moment I feel very horrible for eating meat the whole day. So you showed up the whole facts about veganism and vegetarian. So yes,
and keep in mind, vegetarians, it's a diet. It's not a lifestyle, right? Vegetarians still consume dairy, still consume eggs. They still participate in all of this exploitation.
But I think it's still good eating vegetarian than eating meat.
Is there a difference?
It's better.
Is there a difference? Because animals still get exploited. They still go to the slaughterhouse.
I think it depends, because if you start being vegetarian as a start, it's good. I mean, if you, like, for example, if you're a vegetarian for a year and then start to become vegan, it's better than just not doing it.
Of course,
right?
if the goal is to be vegan, of course it's better, right? But if you think about it from the perspective of the victims, like, let's put it in a different perspective. Let's say somebody beats their wife every day and then decides to beat their wife once a week, right? It's obviously better,
but it's still not. It's not.
It's still an injustice is still happening, right? So in that sense, you're not consuming meat anymore. You're still consuming some dairy products, but the dairy products still contribute to these animals being exploited and slaughtered. So it gets you kind of in the same area.
Yes, it's still bad.
Yeah, that's why vegans exist. That's why we do this. Well, I'm a vegan activist. You don't have to be a vegan activist, but as a vegan yourself means just not participating in all this. It just means I choose. In the supermarket, instead of buying this milk, I go for the plant-based milk. Instead of meat, I go for the plant-based meat, or whatever other dish you want, right? There's always an option. It's just a matter of choosing that option.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, you're right. Of course you're right, but I think that a lot of humans know that veganism is right, but not all of.
How do I internalize nihilism and find peace like you did?
Well, the way it happened with me was doing magic mushrooms, and while in the shroom trip, I was just, you know, in deep thought, thinking about, like, the meaning of life and, you know, what's the point of it all and crap like that, and then I just happened to, because of the mushrooms, it just kind of opened my mind up to different ways of thinking and feeling, and I, like, actually experienced I actually experienced nihilism. I didn't just logically come to that conclusion. I experienced it, and because of the experience, I was able to actually fully understand and internalize it. That's one way. You can... I'm sure you could also get to that point by doing deep meditation. I'm sure there's different ways that you can, go about it. You don't necessarily need to do magic mushrooms like I did. But thanks for the donation, Sicklicks. Appreciate it. Hope that helps. Shins donate $2. What's the difference between morals and ethics? Again, I think depending on what, how you're defining them, they could be used interchangeably, but I think morals are usually referring to a set of given preferences that are typically pro-social, and ethics is the actual application of those morals. I think that's the definition. Disney. Thanks for the donation, though, Shins.
Of them,
exactly.
I think it's about
will be.
No, I'm not familiar with the philosopher Alan Watts. Vegan Gains is a dumb bitch who's just psychotic asshole who hates Arabs as a whole. Israel invaded Gaza, first like the UK invaded the US with Native Americans. He knows nothing about geopolitics. Okay, well, if you don't debate me in Discord right now, I'm banning you. I'll give you 2 minutes to go in Discord. So pop in the Discord. If you don't come in, I'm banning you. Yeah, I'm assuming that's Trofer again. I don't know why he's making a different account. June 3rd. That could be Christy. I'm not sure. But that's probably Trofer.
Vegan Power Lab's name is Chip, not Clip. Lol. Short for Cyprian. Also, isn't consciousness sometimes used to mean subjective experience or thought, in contrast with sentience meaning a subjective experience plus sensations? I.e. sentient implies conscious.
Sentience just means the ability to have a subjective experience. It doesn't mean that you have to have certain sensations. So, consciousness could refer to the ability to have thought. Thought is separate from having a subjective experience. But again, these terms could be used interchangeably depending on how you define them. Thanks for the donation, Chip is based. Okay, banned again.
Veganism.
Yeah, and it is about discipline in a sense, right? Because all of these industries, right, the dairy industry, they don't tell you these stuff that I told you. And the reason why they keep these hidden, they are. Like, if you look at the slaughterhouse, they're better kept than fucking bank. They're insanely well kept because they don't want people to find out. This is their whole shtick. They keep people from knowing what we do to animals because otherwise, if you knew, people stop buying.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they want the money, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Economic-wise, it's better that we don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the reason why they do this is because people pay for it. There's supply and demand, right? So, in that sense, you have an impact on this, right? It's like you vote with your money. When you put your money in there, you say do more of this to animals.
Yeah.
If you don't put your money on the other side, not only do you say don't do this to animals, you also increase another industry that could potentially overtake the other industry. Doesn't matter which company. If you have a problem with one company, go for another company. You don't have to go for Beyond Meat if you don't like Beyond Meat or whatever, right? It's about the animals at the end of the day.
That's true.
Yes, I think the most of us are too comfortable.
Yeah. But do you think that should be an excuse to do it?
No, of course not. But it's too easy to eat meat.
It is.
So
Because we're surrounded by places that offer
Yes, of
this.
course.
I understand that, yeah.
So, no.
Mike Donatillers, have any thoughts? Let me see. Major depression among teens increasing since 2010. Percentage of U.S. teens who had at least one major depressive episode past year by self-report based on symptom checklist. U.S. National Survey on Drug Use and Health. I'm not understanding the percentage. 145% increase. Is that what it means? And 161% increase, boys. That kind of makes sense, just due to, I would imagine the primary reason is social media. People are just seeing more of the world and realizing that they're getting shortchanged compared to other people. That would be a big factor for depression, and it's just harder to kind of make a living. Age 12 to 17. The anxious generation, what he calls the great rewiring of childhood, is the period between 2010 and 2015 when smartphones became ubiquitous and social media moved from desktops to smartphones. From then on, there's a huge spike in major depression in teens. Oh yeah, another big factor would be social media and its use in bullying. So bullying would kind of end once you go home from school. Now, because of social media, if you're being bullied, the bullying can be endless. So even when you go home, people can like bully you on social media and shit. Various hypotheses have been put forward. Global warming, the economic recession of 2008, poverty, yet parents and teachers observe the same thing. Kids are obsessed with their smart devices. They exhibit addiction symptoms. They lose sleep because of screens, and their mental health is worse than that of previous generations. It's the phones. Letting them spend 8 to 9 hours a day on screens with immediate social feedback from hundreds, if not thousands, of strangers is an unprecedented experiment we are running on the current generation. Goes through the evidence enough to show causation and concludes that even if we're wrong about causation here, the measures he proposes, delaying smartphones and social media, phone-free schools, and more play and responsibility in the real world, will be beneficial for kids no matter what. It's probably right. That's probably correct. Thanks for the donation, Mike. Caleb donated $3.
Gun show time. I suppose it is. I've been asked a few times, so let's just get this out of the way as per usual arrangement. Here we go, guys. Let's look at the stats. I've got my money like Liz, so my pockets are fat. Home, yeah.
Ben Shapiro actually has a bit more muscle than I thought he would. He looks like he actually might lift.
Rap God! Okay, that's the one that becomes the meme right there. We just make memes in real time, guys. That's what we do. That's what we do.
All right.
No restaurants here are not offering meat.
Okay.
So, or the most of the restaurants.
They also offer a vegan option.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
Yes.
I think almost all the restaurants
Yeah,
offer a
they
vegan
do?
option. Yeah, most of them. And
yes, of course, but all the restaurants are offering more meats.
yeah, it's true because
yes, but you have
demand.
to offer.
There's
You have
demand.
to offer.
Yeah, yeah, and that's. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what do you value more? Do you
Yes, of
value
course.
more the idea that you're participating in this thing? Well, not just participating, that you're directly complicit in exploitation and slaughter of these individuals who are sentient. Do you know what sentience is? Because that's also a base of veganism. So sentience just means that they have emotions, they feel, they have a subjective experience. They experience the world around them much like we do. They're just not as intelligent as us. But then again, there's also not intelligent people out there, right? So, and we don't send them to slaughterhouses. So in that sense, what you got to ask yourself is, do you want to be complicit in this? Or do you want to not be complicit in this? And then you have to ask yourself, because you say it's hard, but do you think it's harder for you or for the animals? And do you think that this hardness matters more than not participating in this, than not putting animals in this position? It's a complicated.
It's either or. It's
Yeah.
not both.
Yeah, it's either or, right? So, but you understand the black and whiteness of it, right? If you're not vegan, you will participate in it. It's not. There's no gray area into it. Yeah. And if you are vegan, you're not participating in it. It's as easy as that, right? So, what do you feel like? What do you feel like you want to do it right now? Like, just be honest with me. Like, I understand that you probably feel bad. I understand it feels like one of those life decisions that you're like, oh, do I want to be this? I don't know. It feels like a commitment issue that you're never going to consume this again. But then,
I think you have to be realistic in this, because I mean, I don't think that people who eat meat every day will stop.
Social and political psychologist Jonathan Haidt suggests in his new book that children should not have phones until high school and no social media until 16. Elementary and middle schools should ban them in school. Some schools in my area are trying that.
It's probably better for the well-being of kids for them to not have access to social media or have it be like restricted. The problem is, like, social media is such a huge part of human life and daily activity now. I don't know if, like, not being social media savvy would also be a huge drawback, because like, if you don't really use social media until you're like an adult, you might not be able to understand how to do things like marketing. You might not understand how to deal with like harassment online. So I don't know. I'm not, and I mean, there are relationships that you can get as a teenager that might help you later in life with your career that may only be possible like through social media. So there are potential downsides, but when you're just looking at it from a mental health aspect, it's probably more beneficial. Thanks for the donation, though, Caleb.
Step from now on and not eat meat, right? And I think, I know that it's not a justification, but starting with less meat and becoming a vegan step by step is still a better choice.
obviously it is a better choice, and also what I want to say is that it's easy for us to mention what people do, because it kind of absolves us of the responsibility we have as individuals, right? In this whole matter, right? When we say, well, people do it because of this, but I'm speaking to you too. I'm facing you with this choice. I'm explaining it to you, so you know it. A lot of people don't know about everything that I just mentioned to you. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to take it a step-by-step approach, or do you want to stop exploiting animals?
That's a good question. How about you?
Yes, I will be honest. So, yes, after our conversation, I'm very, I'm very bad about eating meat. So,
yeah,
and you are very right about telling the people your opinion, and yes, it's the right way. So everyone absolutely has to be vegan, but I'm honest. I will not prohibit eating meat. But after our conversation, I will try to eat less meat.
Yeah, you will beat your wife less. I understand. It's the same idea.
It's a fucked up topic.
It's a fucked up topic. It's not an easy topic. It is.
Well, it's honestly it is an easy topic because there's one right choice to make.
Exactly.
It's not. I mean, we don't have to discuss about it, right? Because there is just one choice. Like, there's no right or wrong. Well, there is, right?
Yeah.
You have to make one choice.
Yeah.
And there's only one right choice, and not different choices.
I mean, if you ask me, the reality is why I'm sitting here is I'm sitting here and telling people what happens, and I offer them the solution, which is veganism.
Yeah.
But if you think there's another solution,
no, there isn't.
There you go. There is.
No, of course there's no other solution. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, do you know what the #1 benefit about being vegan is?
Ryan Webb donated $2. Let me see. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's amazing. Dude, I want to be friends with an elephant.
Thought is a kind of subjective experience, right? So thought implies sentience, but sentience doesn't necessarily imply thought but rather just perception? Also, what's the difference between sensing like a plant does and actual sentience like an animal?
Thought requires sentience, but sentience does not require thought. What's the difference between a plant sensing something but actual sentience like an animal? So it's like your phone detecting like a Wi-Fi signal. You're not consciously experiencing anything. It's just intelligently reacting to stimuli. So just like how your computer can react to stimulus or your cell phone can react to stimulus, it's not actually experiencing anything. It's just intelligently reacting. That's the difference. Thanks for the donation. Chip is based. Oh my god, the elephant's trying to steal his food. Oh, that's good. Pay the toll. Give the elephant his bananas. Oh my goodness. Wow, they can actually peel bananas with their trunk. That's amazing. I didn't know they could do that. That's so cool. Oh my god, elephants are special. I fucking love elephants. Oh, what a sweet elephant. He's giving back his shoe. Oh my god. Elephants are sweet creatures. Ooh, a little baby. It's chasing after the birds. Oh my god. Wow. That's a good baby. Oh my god. Thanks for the donation, Ryan.
You're not a hypocrite. That's the number one benefit.
Komm mal gehen. Ja, wir sind gleich fertig. Komm gleich. Gleich. Ja, ja, 2 Minuten.
I'll let you go if you have to.
Please react. 7 octillion 777 septillion 777 sextillion 777 quintillion 888 quadrillion 888 trillion 887 billion 777 million 778,888 TTTTTT 777.
You didn't give me a link, but if you give me a link, I can check it out. Thanks for the donation, then, though.
Yeah.
So the number one benefit is animals don't die for you, and you're not a hypocrite, because if you oppose it, there you go. You live up to your own moral potential, your own moral standards. You sleep nice at night. And trust me, you don't lose enjoyment of food. You don't. Anything that you can get from meat, you can get it from plants also. Like, most of the food that tastes nice on meat is because of the spices anyway, right? Spices give the taste, not the meat. That's the reality. So, yeah, there's a slight taste difference, but that goes away very fast. It's really like within...
Please react.
Alright, let me take a look. Oh my god. That's Joey. Jesus Christ. Holy fuck, you can tell he's sentient. Look at all the sentience right there. Oh my god, so handsome. That's amazing. Thanks for the donation, the then now. Joey's a very handsome kitty.
In a month, it's like, yeah, you get used to it so fast that then you never miss it again. And then you wonder, why did I used to participate? The reality is that most vegans, the one regret they have, including myself, is not being vegan earlier. Because you're like, what the fuck was I doing? Why was I doing all this? How could I justify doing all this? Okay. Can you promise me? So I want two things from you to get from this discussion. Number one is understand your involvement in the matter. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I
your
do.
responsibility?
Yeah.
Yes. I like that. Yes. Okay. Number two, I want you to further ahead to get informed. I'll give you some resources just to learn about honey, maybe other stuff that you probably don't know. And just to get an idea, a full idea of what animal agriculture is, right? So if you don't want that to happen, you better go vegan, okay?
Yeah.
I'll give you a card here. If you scan this or go on this website and type in this code.
He has a really gross thumb. A lot of weird chipped skin.
You have Challenge 22, which is also written here. If you subscribe to this, all of it is free, by the way. They send you recipes, vegan recipes every day, and hook you up with a nutritionist to get the better nutrition for 22 days so that they can help you change your habit, because for most people, it's a habitual change.
Shinzatetsu donators. Okay, Richard, the following may piss you off. Or just confuse you on how such a person can think of these things. Lol. I found the motherload of conspiracy theories, and yes, he's serious. Lol. Please view a good portion of the vid. You didn't give me a link. If you give me a link, I can check it out. Thanks for the donation, dude. Less is more. Donate $2. Let me see. Oh my god.
Ostracized by other elephants, pushed into the water.
Oh no, he's getting bullied.
And bullied. He could only bellow loudly to express his anger. The reason for his isolation was surprisingly because he could paint. To protect this elephant and avoid more intense conflicts, the staff decided to move this elephant to a separate area where he could paint more safely and focused.
I don't think that's true.
After the video of this conflict came out, more and more people got to know about this painting elephant. They all...
Yeah, that's not true. So, elephants, as far as we know, don't actually paint scenes of trees. They can pick up a paintbrush, dip it in the paint, and make, shit on a canvas, but when you see elephants painting scenes of, like, trees or forests or something, they're getting guided by a human handler. And again, there's no case of elephants bullying each other because of painting. That is just fake and stupid.
Hey guys, what's up?
Shinatsu, here's a link. Let me see.
So the idea is that
I'm probably not going to watch this whole thing because it's 30 minutes and I know it's going to be stupid, but I'll check out a little bit of it. Thanks for the donation, man.
175 stores. Whole Foods is the undisputed leader in organic foods and promotes locally grown. But the I-Team has found that much of Whole Foods organics are imported from China.
Honestly, I would have never flipped it over to see that it was a product of China.
Spinach, sugar snap peas, and would you believe California blend vegetables? All listed under the Whole Foods brand 365 Organic. And on the back in small print, product of China. Organic ensures pesticide-free environment.
Organic does not ensure pesticide-free. They're just allowed to use organic pesticides.
Environmentally friendly conditions. But how do we even know the food is organic? Food sold in this country must be approved by the U.S. Department of Agriculture before they can display the organic label.
The oversight that they have in China is not the same kind of supervision that we have in the United States.
But the USDA doesn't inspect imported foods. It certifies private inspectors to do the job. Whole Foods.
Yeah, organic is a scam. This also happens in the United States. Farmers will claim their food is organic, knowing they're not going to get inspected by the USDA, and then they mark up the cost of their product just because it's organic when it's not actually organic.
Foods employs a company called Quality Assurance International, but the company confirms QAI has not certified any products in China. They rely...
Yeah, buying organic is just fucking stupid.
This thing I want. 내가 만들래 green. 내가 만들래 green light. This thing.
Nice. Let's just finish this off.
There's also
first.
personalized help, some important speech you will ever hear.
I'm gonna challenge your beliefs.
Nothing wrong with getting more informed, right? And then if you want to go vegan, there's so many resources. There's Challenge Center that I mentioned, and there's several other resources also. How does that sound?
Good.
You gonna watch that video?
We will have a look.
Okay, what's your name? Activist, I think I know her, the militante vegana, Rafaela.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the girl.
And you go to the next person.
No more information about it.
To hit a person.
All right. Well, it's a good
Humanity
talk, I guess.
evolved beyond the use of this type of form in this realm, or this consciousness wavelength, basically this type of environment. And something or someone recreated modified versions of the original form in order to contain or retract the spiritual essence, basically the consciousness of humanity, of the human. And everything from there on is basically like a replay. And there were original forms that were different from the way we are now. This is basically an animalistic version of human consciousness. And now I think of this dog barking. And so because where we were or would be originally or without the system, we're kind of like replaying time. There's like a skipping effect. There has to be a resolution to this situation that resynchronizes people consciously with where we should be. So it's like we're either going to have to get teleported ahead, or this part's erased, or we're going to have to accelerate very quickly through like a boosting or boosted period, something like that, in order to catch up with where we should be. And it's like we're in the ancient archaic past at this point. And so with that said, there are certain aspects of what's going on which are initiated in order to more or less reawaken the divine in people, which sounds like paradox, but it's as if because we were set back, we fell asleep. So now we're being openly rattled and set back at the high enough level of awareness without undoing certain modifications, and so on. And this whole society begins to look like a kind of artificial scene, or a set in scenery and props designed for this purpose, with like the brain literally being designed by a foreign intelligence that seeks to utilize that divine spark in pulling charge by basically convincing people to align with the
Let us go watch Frank. He is boring me.
Yeah, this seems like a stupid, boring fucking video. Thanks for that donation, James.
created, generated foreign intelligences that come out of the dark aether between realms, and just happens to, because somebody looked in there, now a being appeared to match what they were looking for. Whatever it is, there's something there that's been guiding things.
Okay, who cares? This is just a stupid video.
What's up? How are you guys? We're just going to do a quick vlog, show you what's new this week, sale items, everything we got back in stock. We are giving away collagen broth free with every order. Last week we did 2 local ground beef and the beef blood free with every order. This week we're giving away the collagen bone broth. So if you guys haven't wanted to try it, free with every single order this week. And we got a few new products to show you guys too, some new sausage and a few other things. I'm trying not to have a heat stroke because I got to wear all these clothes and it's like 80 degrees outside because I'm working in the freezer, but then like the rest of the day I'm just sweating. That beeping is a new DVR I installed on the camera system. Because the company wanted like $2,000 to just swap out a new DVR because I couldn't view it on my phone, which is complete BS. You know, the camera system's already there, so did it myself for about $200, so save some money there. I'll show you guys the new supplements first real quick. So you guys saw this if you watched the day of eating last week. We got vitamin D in capsules now, 1,000 IU per capsule. So nice, convenient dose. You know, the liquid can be a little bit difficult to gauge how much you're taking sometimes, even with the drop.
Okay. I don't know why he says amount per serving is 3,000 IUs when this makes no sense. Yeah, what? So he's suggesting a single serving is 3,000 IUs, but there's only 1,000 IUs per capsule. So you need 3 capsules to get a single serving, and then there's only 33 servings in the entire container. So this will only last you 10 days. Why would he sell a fucking supplement like this and not give a month's supply? It's fucking retarded. Even if you were to take 2,000 IUs, which is the...
So then it's true that you love Joey more than poor orange, sweet, kind, tender, delicious Maui. $7,477,777,777,777,777,777,777.
Well,
TTT.
I've never met Joey or Maui, but I think Joey's cuter. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know if I'd like Joey or Maui better if I actually met them, but I think Joey's cuter. That's just the way I see things, but they are both sweet kitties, and I love them both equally. Thanks for the donation, Ethan, though.
I wonder how much Frank spends on this overpriced merch?
Yeah, he claims he's barely making a profit, but I think he's fucking full of shit. I think he's marking everything up like crazy. Thanks for the donation, James. Son Goku donated $2. How we looking? Let me see. You're looking pretty goddamn jacked, dude. Hammer curls with 70s is pretty impressive. Yeah, nice, dude. You're looking like a Dragon Ball Z character. Thanks for the donation, Son Goku. Sarskov donated $2. I have this 12-grain bread, and it has a lot of whole grains and fiber. If I eat a lot of this bread, is it good for me? Probably. If it's whole grain bread, then it's probably good for you. The only issue might be like the added sodium, but as long as you don't have high blood pressure, it'd be fine. Thanks for the donation, man.
So we have vitamin D3.
Yeah, even if you were to take 2,000 IUs per day, which is the daily recommended intake, this bottle still wouldn't be enough to get you to a full month supply. So how much is he even fucking selling this shit for? You know what's funny? Frank added me to his mailing list manually. He actually just looked up my business email and then put me on his mailing list, even though I never signed up on his website. I don't know why he did that. I don't know if it's like a fuck you type of thing, but it's kind of retarded. Where's his vitamin D? Is this even listed? There's liquid vitamin D. Yeah, apparently he doesn't even have it listed on his website. He just has the liquid form. Servings per container, 65,000 IUs. That's more reasonable. A reasonable price, but what's he selling the stupid capsules for? I can't even find it on his website. Okay, that's kind of stupid.
1,000 IU per capsule, safe dose. You know, start with 1, 2, or 3,000 per day. See how you feel. Most D3 supplements are way too high. Anything more than 2,000 or 3,000 for some people can be too much. So you got to be careful with that. Something new is calcium. Ever since I've been taking high doses of zinc and magnesium, those deplete calcium. So first time in my life I've ever really needed more calcium in my diet. So we have, again, a safe dose. This is 100 milligrams of calcium carbonate, which is the natural chelation, per capsule. I don't think there's any supplement this low dose online. I'm actually curious to know what the lowest dose calcium supplement currently available is, because most of them are like 1,000 milligrams, 10 times what this is, but 100 milligrams is what you get.
Would you risk buying any vegan merch?
You mean, would I buy vegan merch from Frank Tufano? No, never. I'd never buy anything from him. I fucking hate him. Thanks for that donation, James.
You get from drinking a whole bottle of water. So to go a bottle of mineral water. So to go 10 times that with some of these doses is a little crazy. So this perfectly lines up because you take one of these, which is 100 milligrams of calcium, and then we have our magnesium capsules, which are 50 milligrams per capsule. So it's nice because you take one magnesium, one calcium, and you get a 1-to-2 ratio of magnesium to calcium, which is pretty good. And then probably the most significant one, because the other liquid K2 is very expensive. I think this is only $15 or $20 a bottle. We have vitamin K2 in safe portions again. 100 micrograms of MK4 and 10 micrograms of MK7 per capsule. We got to fix the label. It's a little incorrect here. It shows amount per capsule, but it says amount per serving. So I'm going to fix the labels on these, but K2, D3 calcium now available, organsupplements.com. Still waiting on the probiotic. Not sure when that's going to come. And I'll talk more about these supplements when we have everything, but like the MK7 and a lot of the dosages of these vitamins that other companies are selling, totally not safe. Not safe at all. So that ratio of 100 micrograms of MK4 to 10 micrograms of MK7 is what you should be taking. That's what naturally occurs in food. And unfortunately, there's no like supplemental option for a lot of, there's like MK8, 9, 10, 11. What you want to do is have the vitamin K2 supplement and then have like high quality probiotic foods, water kefir, and like raw cheeses to get the rest of your K2. It's not something that can really be supplemented 100%. I've been showing you guys, we've been doing the sale on the naturals. A few more weeks, we'll basically have everything out of here. And something new I'm messing around with, we're going to have clay shampoo available later this week. This is the first failed batch. It's a little too liquidy, but we will have something functional for you guys. Just natural clay shampoo. It's not going to be in glass. We do have regular bottles for it because
he's making his own shampoo and he already fucked it up. It literally looks like just water with shit mixed in.
If I do the clay shampoo in glass, imagine breaking this in your shower. Complete nightmare. You know, these glass bottles with shower tile, not a good idea. So we're going to just do like a plastic bottle, and I'm going to rinse out the inside and make sure there's no chemicals or anything. So yeah, we already got 3 new supplements. We should have the probiotic coming. We're going to have the clay shampoo available this week, and I'll try to do some other stuff. We have a natural sunscreen available now, but I'll try to do my own brand soon. We have the pomade that I've been selling, but we'll try to do a new and improved version. Let's see what's going on in the fridge. So we just got all the fresh raw dairy ready to ship out to you guys. I think we got 9 water kefir flavors now. This is the ginger. Got way too much. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Still got some sauerkraut, guys, giardiniera, plenty of the steak sauce. That's what's left of the beef blood. I think we're gonna run out because we're not gonna get any more in for about a month.
Looks like Frank is making an effort to organize the shelves.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Frank's retarded, so I'm sure he's running his business like an idiot. Thanks for the donation, James.
We do have a decent amount of fresh beef in this week. However, this, as I said with the blood, will be the last fresh beef we're getting in for maybe a month and a half. Same with the steaks, the bone and ribeye steaks, the porterhouse steaks. If you guys want the fresh beef, this is going to be your last chance to get it for a little while. Over here we got just some pork bacon. New product, smoked cured pork bacon. Running low on the beef bacon, but we do have some more to slice. I kept pushing the pastrami on you guys because I thought we had a decent amount, but we sold out. I felt like I made a lot. I thought I made like close to 200 pounds of pastrami, but we only sold 115 pounds, which means I think I lost a lot more weight in the smoking than I thought I would, which is not good. I probably didn't even charge enough to break even on it. So I'll try to make some more pastrami maybe this week. So we're not going to have it back for a few more weeks, but we do have the smoked and cured products, the bacon, and we got some new sausages and stuff too that you guys can try. I'm going to switch over to my phone so my camera doesn't freeze up. All right.
Oh yeah, you know what? That gives me an idea. When I win the lottery and I become a millionaire, I'm going to hire a private investigator to find out where Sverige is. Because he's actually, I know for a fact, he's not renting an apartment. He's living out of an Airbnb. And that's why he's particularly worried about getting enough money from all this Luna drama.
Hope Frank is storing that meat correctly?
Hopefully not, so his business gets shut down and he kills somebody with salmonella. But thanks for the donation, James. But yeah, I know for a fact he's living at an Airbnb, so he's probably paying money like weekly for rent. And I think if you're renting out an Airbnb, you don't have the same renter's protections as if you have a rental contract. So if he doesn't have enough money to pay the Airbnb host, he could probably get kicked out like immediately. Whereas if he was renting, he might have like 3 months worth of buffer room, where even if he doesn't pay for 3 months, he won't get evicted immediately. So yeah, when I win the lottery, I'm going to hire a private investigator, find out where Sverige is, and then contact the police and see if I can get him arrested.
See if I remember everything. We just restocked the caviar, salmon caviar, sturgeon caviar. These are the new pork sausages. So the Iberico sausage is now plain smoked Iberico sausage. And then we have the raw breakfast sausage, which has a little maple syrup and honey, made with the highest quality Iberico pork from Spain. This is the smoked plain beef sausage. So we showed you guys these 3 over the past few weeks. We've had these in for a few weeks now, but these are the brand new sausages. And we just got a lot of restock stuff sitting in the back of the freezer here that we have to organize and put where it's supposed to be. But we've been busy, and I did all the orders myself in the freezer this week, so we'll get to this in a day or two. These are all the chicken breasts, single portions back in stock, so all the chicken for the most part is back available. We have chicken breast, drumsticks, thighs, some organs, some liver, and we have chicken wings. So if you guys have been waiting for chicken, polar parts, we have it. We restocked the ground venison this week. This actually looks, some of it looks a little fattier than venison usually is, but we were sold out of that for a few weeks, so we do have it back. Over here we restocked our beef chuck roll and our beef chuck steaks. This is the carne asada that I showed you guys in the day of eating last week. So we got 1 pound portioned carne asada steaks. So you basically just take this out, thaw it out, really delicious.
That sausage looks diseased.
It does. It all looks diseased. I don't know who the fuck would buy any of this fucking garbage. Thanks for the donation, James.
It's just ready to cook. Some of the leaner stuff, we got 1 pound London broil, as well as the 95.5 lean blend back available. This is even leaner than venison. These are both made from Top Round, which we use for the roast beef. We got a lot of collagen broth. This is what we're going to be giving away this week with all the orders. Restock the chicken broth. Highest quality chicken broth on the market.
That looks fucking gross. That just looks like snot.
We have too much liverwurst, so we're probably going to give this away next week after we're done giving away the collagen broth. This is a fresh batch of hot dogs. So once we sell the ones we have in here right now for the discounted price, the new hot dogs will be available. Over here we just have some steaks we're restocking. These are some thick 1 pound ribeyes. We got some 8-ounce strip steaks and 1 pound strip steaks. Showed you guys the past few weeks. Ground turkey now available. We're out of ground chicken breast, but this is pretty close. We got beef cheeks.
Ground turkey is fucking disgusting. I remember, like, before I was vegan, I had ground turkey a few times. It is nasty. It's like a mix between chicken and fish, and it's like the worst tasting aspects of chicken and fish mixed together. It's gross.
These are like between 1 and 2 pounds each. Each of this is like a cheek portion. So, you know, the cow has 2 cheeks on its head, 2 cheeks on its face, and each of
This is cow face meat? What?
these is half of it. So between 1 and 2 pounds each. These are great for slow cooking, braising. Got the picanha steaks back in stock. Definitely the best bang for your buck steak we offer. And what's new and special?
Well, like, he sells shit that I wasn't even aware of, like, was used as food. I didn't know they used cow face to make food.
Is raw blood sausage. So what we did was take 100% grass-fed beef, beef blood, raw garlic, raw onion, some herbs and spices in there, a little bit of salt.
I don't even know if he's legally allowed to sell this.
So it's basically a seasoned, flavorful sausage that has blood in it for a little more protein. I gotta try packing these out myself, but this is the only raw beef sausage that we have now. So we have the plain smoked collagen sausage, we got the hot dogs, and now we have raw blood sausage available. I guess this is the big new meat product this week that we haven't had before. We got the whole picanhas back in stock too. If you guys want 3 or 4 pound picanha, and then I showed you guys last week we got kefir ice cream, new flavor. So we showed you guys everything in the fridge and freezer that I remember. We're gonna go to the office and read some reviews. I didn't show you guys on the foods website. We're trying to restock all the bars. I think we have most of the bars available. I think we sold out of granola, but we did make some more, and we did make some more vanilla. We just have to package them up this week. Yeah, I emailed Hike Vision about this beeping DVR, because I don't know why it's beeping, because everything's working. Like the cameras are recording, it's writing to the hard drive, so when they get back to me via email, I won't have to put up with the beeping noise anymore. I mean,
You called out Sverige in a recent video for advocating for having sex in front of children, but he didn't just say... Sverige didn't just say it's okay to have sex in front of children. He said it's okay to have sex with children. But you said you had sex in front of your dog and it licked your ass. Isn't that hypocritical? No. I don't see how in any way me having sex in front of a dog could cause it any amount of harm or traumatic stress or anything, so no. Yeah.
I can almost see the aorta hose combos in that meat. Maybe Frank will ingest some tapeworms.
Hopefully. You know, Frank does not cook his meat thoroughly, so he likely is ingesting, you know, parasites and shit. Maybe he'll get brain worms like JFK. Thanks for the donation, James. Kid Beer donated $2. This is why black women are the least desirable race of women to date.
5 things that you have to offer a man.
Nothing, 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 and nothing.
You ate with that one.
Thank you, best friend. Nothing.
What do you need from a man who you're gonna take seriously?
Money.
That's all you look for. You're not serious though.
I am serious.
So why would a man even want to look your way if you can't add value to his life?
Well, dog, if you ain't got the bag down.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
You ain't trying to spend the money down.
So let's say the man has the bag and he wants to spend the money. What does he get back?
I asked him my question, like, what's my favorite color? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nigga. Yeah, let's get to know each other. What color is my motherfucking real hair?
Well,
Okay, that's great. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo. Dodo donators, can you maybe play this game when it comes out if you weren't already planning to? It releases in 14 days.
Hello, welcome to Access. My name is Nathan, and this is a video about upcoming narrative horror, Still Wakes the Deep. A game which is very scary, very Scottish,
Don't need to restart the generator manually.
right, where you go then, and extremely in the sea. This video is based on around 2 hours with the game, and in terms of impression...
Is it on PC? Yeah, I mean, I've wanted to play another horror game, so I'll put it on my wish list. Yeah, I'll put it on my wish list, and we'll play it. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Is a little...
I'm not usually in here. It's only just to print the orders out real quick every day, so it's only going to be annoying now for you guys. A little bit of nonsense as usual this week. This newspaper company was using my porch as a drop-off spot, and I found out because some lady stole the rock salt bags in front, and like I had it on camera and everything. I was actually thinking of titling the video with that because it was a little dramatic, but once I called and emailed the newspaper company, which I didn't like because they never responded back or confirmed anything, the rock salt bags mysteriously reappeared on my porch, and I don't think they're using that as a drop-off site anymore, so that was a little dramatic. Some lady emailed me complaining that her order arrived for...
What the fuck? Some lady who works for a newspaper company stole his bags of rock salt.
frozen, so probably a raw tart being ridiculous, because it says on our page, hey, we ship everything frozen unless you order fresh, so it's just like people doing really ridiculous stuff on the way. And then she was like, I'm going to tell my bank, and they're going to side with me. I'm like, what are you going to tell your bank? That the meat arrived frozen in perfect condition? Like, people, I don't know if these people are trolling me or what, but it's completely ridiculous. Oh, there are a lot of orders that people are only, you guys are only ordering like 4 or 5 pounds of meat, so I think like 20 to 30% of the orders this week, I sent you a bill for extra ice for summer shipping. It said something like, small order summer shipping fee. Most of them were $5, some of them were $10, but like someone would order 2 of the marrow butter, which is expensive because it's pure bone marrow, and it's like 4 pounds of product, and they're shipping it to California. But 4 pounds of product is like, it's like this much. The amount of ice I have to put in there to keep it cold is, so I don't want to have to raise the order minimum, because most of the time, like, if it's less than 8 or 9 pounds of meat, there's going to be a problem, because I can't afford to put $10 worth of ice in it myself. So a lot of you guys might have got an email that it was an updated invoice for the shipping fee. That's if you're only, like, maybe someone will order 2 Wagyu ribeye steaks and a caviar. So usually stuff like that's okay, but sometimes people will order like the bare minimum. It'll be like a $100 order, and there's like 3 pounds of meat in it and like 7 things of milk. So in those scenarios, with this summer heat,
Jesus, people have to order a minimum of $100 worth of food. Fucking hell. And then he says, oh, I have the cheapest prices online and all this shit. Like, yeah, sure you do.
mainly for Florida and Texas orders, some California. So you guys are going to get a bill if you don't order at least 10 pounds of meat, because you know.
If you had the Death Note but could only use it once, who are you picking? Frank, Andrew Tate, or Moist Critical? Fuck, that's a tough one. I think I'd have to go with Moist Critical because he benefits the most from living. and I just have a more deep-seated hatred of him. Yeah, it would definitely be a choice between either Moist Critical or Frank. Like, Andrew Tate's going to prison, and I don't want him to die before he gets his criminal trial.
Frankie is palming off meat infected with bird flu.
Hopefully. Again, we can only hope. There is the bird flu going around from farm to farm, and that'd be hilarious if he was shipping bird flu-infected meat. Thanks for the donation, James. Like, Frank is probably causing a greater amount of harm than Moist Critical because he's killing animals, so yeah, maybe I'd choose Frank. I just have a more deep-seated hatred of Moist Critical, though.
Like, if you guys want to help me out, try to order 10 or 15 pounds. You spending the extra $20 or $30 makes a huge difference in between ordering the minimum versus an extra 20 or 30 bucks. Makes it from me not making any money to being reasonable. So we got a 5-star review for the best burger blend. Delicious steak burgers. This burger meat is incredible. It's really quality steak. That is great. I also use this to sweeten my oatmeal and pan. Whatever. I don't think we even sell it some weeks. We don't sell any of it some weeks. I understand there can be some inconsistencies with the product, but the people that are having the inconsistencies for some reason, coincidentally, are first-time customers trying to take advantage of me. So this first-time customer left me a 1-star review on Google. Spent $100 worth of raw dairy products, and they're absolutely horrible. The milk was delivered to me on 5/23, and the sell-by date was 5/20. The pack date was 5/21 because we literally milked those cows the day before and sent you the dairy products as fresh as humanly possible. The cream cheese tasted like thicker milk, all absolutely tasteless. Absolute worst customer service I've ever seen when I reached out with a complaint. They wrote a quick sentence back accusing me of trying to take advantage of a small business. I threw all of the $100 of product away. It was bad. Listen up, Miss Allie. I sold over 100 units of each of those products last week, and I didn't get one complaint. So, guys, if you had any issue with the dairy products, please reach out to me, let me know, and if there was a problem, we'll issue you a refund. But I'm inclined to believe, since this was the only complaint from a first-time customer, it's just some degenerate trying to tarnish my business reputation, which is why we filed the federal lawsuit, and Miss Allie Beers, I would love to include you on it. I will take note of that. Fucking...
He's gonna sue somebody for not liking the product she bought. Okay.
Douchebags. That's all I have to say. No, bro. You know what, guys? I'm shutting down my business. We're going out, guys. I'm gonna go to Costco right now and film a video about all the cool stuff you should buy.
Wrestling is fake, they said.
Let me see. Pretty sure that was fake.
First time for everything, Frank.
Yep. I don't even know why he complains about this publicly, because he is just encouraging people to do this more. It's really idiotic. Thanks for the donation, James.
It's non-existent. That's just a name. There's nothing that lives that's in our body. Think about the gorilla. What protein is he getting?
So it don't even come from plants? Like,
not at all. He don't need protein, and he bigger than all of us.
The gorilla is getting protein from plants.
He eating green leaves. Yeah. Whatever protein they say exists, got to exist in that.
Yeah. That is a westernized formula that's man-made in a laboratory. How can a white substance help me with my proper nutritional value? You want minerals, such as that sea moss you just took. That's going to provide you with more minerals than that white substance and anything in GMC. You could go get the biggest protein bag. It's not going to provide you with 90.
Dude, fuck the lottery. Make a donation goal. No, seriously, I think that would be a good idea. Draw a poll.
I don't think I have any millionaires or billionaires in my chat that would give me, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. But thanks for that donation. Forgot my namification.
12 of 102 minerals, period. Sea moss provides you with 92 of 102 minerals what the body is composed of. So it's high in zinc, high in calcium.
None of this has to do with protein requirements. Yeah, these people are just retarded.
I'm giving away $200. I'll give you $200, or I'll double it and give it to the next person. Which one you want to do? We want the $200 and we're gonna double it and give it to the next person.
Double it and give it to the next person.
You want me double it and give it to the next person?
I'll take that shit, nigga.
It's $400. This man right here just double it.
Hey, good looks, bro.
You hold 20 of it.
You said what?
You hold 20?
Nah, fuck, nigga. Oh. So basically.
Okay.
I at Costco, bro. Fucking.
Oh, are there any vegans you hate more than the average meat eater? Yeah. What's that guy's name? Cranky Vegan? I fucking hate that guy. He's a fucking scumbag. She's not a vegan, so this technically wouldn't be me hating a vegan more than the average meat eater, but unnatural not vegan. I also fucking can't stand her. She's a fake-ass vegan.
Fucking cocksuckers. These fucking people deserve nothing. 5-star review for the A2A2 raw butter. Yummy. Would love to see a salted version of this. I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but if you guys hate what's going on in the world right now, with the economy, with all these evil people in control of everything, just know that they hate my fucking guts and absolutely do not want you spending money on my business. That's why you see these shills commenting on all my videos, trying to derail it, talking trash about me, trying to make me feel bad. The worst thing you can do for these people is to buy from my business. So keep in mind, when you're buying from me, you're kind of kicking these assholes in the nuts because they want you to support their businesses instead. I'm not the type of guy that's gonna go tell my viewers and my supporters, hey, if you see these people do this to me, go do it to all the other meat businesses. All right, complete human trash. 5-star review for the macadamia nut butter. Best nut butter ever. Goes great on pancakes, toasted bread, and smoothies, and great as a standalone item. I like that this brand roasts their nuts in with the pecan butter. Yeah, I'm really hoping. I mean, this is a good product that we have on the foods, but that's. I was actually looking at there's an auction for like a nut butter machine. It went for way too much money, but that is something I do want to do myself in the future because macadamia nuts are a very special product in a sense that they're like one of the only healthy nuts. Like we use macadamia nut butter, pecan butter, hazelnut butter, and walnut butter in all of our recipes on the foods and stuff. So we're really trying to keep it high quality, but unfortunately, those nut butters and nuts aren't easily accessible by the general public, especially organic versions. Because most of you guys know, you go in the supermarket, it's all peanut butter and almond butter. 5-star review for the beef liverwurst. Excellent choice. Wanted to try the liverwurst for nostalgia and healthy cooking. So our liverwurst is very special. It's basically giving it away most weeks because we have a lot of it and there's not much of a demand for it, but put that on every sandwich. 5-star review for the chicken eggs. Another review for the eggs. Fantastic seasoning with... We're very pleased with everything, so I don't have to charge shipping for them, but... Hey, so look, the post office is so unreliable. I don't know what to tell you. I try my best to send everything out as soon as possible, but just keep that in mind with the gift cards, guys. It might take it's not going to take 2 weeks to get there. That was a little ridiculous, but it should get there within a week. Probably bad timing on the order. Because a lot of you guys are like, you think day by day, but stuff doesn't move Friday through Sunday, guys. FedEx, USPS, UPS, most people work normal, like, we don't have access to the Amazon shipping network or whatever that is. So keep in mind, guys, business days for the most part are what you got to expect. 5-star review for the pasture-raised whole chicken. Best chicken. Got yeah, that's news. Yeah, so as always, if you guys have any issues or concerns with your order, please just take a photo and send it to me. We explained in the vlog last week, and we have all the policies on the FAQ page on the website. If you're a first-time customer and you have any concerns about the quality of the product, please just take your phone and film a video of yourself opening the package because there have been a lot of people trying to take advantage of me.
So, Frank has a troll problem? Frank and high quality is an oxymoron.
Yeah, I'm sure most of these people ordering from him are just getting, like, crap shipped to them. I remember Sean Baker, he tried ordering from Frank's business, and he received a box of, like, thawed-out, fucked-up meat, and he was too afraid to eat it himself, so he just fed it to his dogs. So yeah, I mean, they are probably receiving, like, garbage in the mail, and then he's too much of an idiot to realize.
I haven't sucked a penis in 5 days, Richard. I don't think I can take another day without cock in my mouth or I'll die probably. What the fuck should I do?
Maybe go to your local gas station and ask if anybody wants a blowjob. Thanks for the donation, Very Vegan, and thanks for the donation, James.
Me and my business, we do an excellent job of making sure you guys get the freshest, highest quality products possible, packaged with a lot of ice and shipped very quickly. So what generally happens is people tend to lie and try to do things where they say the product was bad, but they never show me any proof of it. So if you guys do have any issues, please just send an email, let me know, take some photos, and we'll sort everything out. But I don't... Our success rate with it's very, very high. Very few people have any issues with products whatsoever, especially, I mean, this year in general, it's been very rare that anything has arrived. I mean, I think like 3 weeks ago were the first few packages. There was like an issue with FedEx or some storms or something, and like 2 or 3 packages got held over the weekend that we had to issue a refund for. But that's that's very obvious. Like the FedEx tracking will say, you know, that we shipped the package on Monday and you didn't get it until the next Monday. So that's an obvious, okay, we'll refund the product, but that usually doesn't happen. So thank you guys for joining me. We showed you all the new stuff. All the businesses are available on frank-tufano.com. When you guys support, like especially the supplement business, that really helps. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to run the meat business. Like the supplements and stuff, and you guys even just spending $20-30 or whatever makes a huge difference because you know, that doesn't have perishable shipping, and we're able to use that income to supplement the meat business. Same with the naturals, we're liquidating everything and hopefully going to do some new products on the naturals. Wi-Fi shielding, I didn't show you guys today, but we have all the clothing back in stock on the Wi-Fi shielding website. Part of the reason I'm sweating my guts out so much is I always wear the clothing. And yeah, I think that's everything, guys. frank-tufano.com. Thanks again for joining, and we'll see you guys for the next video. I think I'll try to do a video. We'll do a taste test on all the new products that we have recently. Probably just the sausages. I wanted to do a taste test on everything. Well, maybe we'll do the bacon too. I really wanted to include the pastrami, but we ran out, and I mean, pastrami usually takes 2 weeks to brine. I wonder if 1 week is okay too, but we'll see. I'll see you guys soon.
Well, Frank's still an idiot, but we already knew that.
Let's talk about your journey, Mikhaila. You're a millennial, and a lot of your generation have kind of either walked away from church or never entered church in the first place. You've recently, though, kind of gone on a journey to God. So, yeah, do you want to just give us the background to that, and we'll just listen and you tell us what happened?
Sure. Okay. So, given who my dad is, I grew up knowing about the biblical stories, but more from a psychological perspective. So the meaning behind the biblical stories. We never read them really as if they had actually happened. A lot of it was the psychological significance behind it. And so I can remember in grade 4, somebody coming up to me and asking me if I believed in God. And I said, I don't know. So I probably identified as agnostic until last August. And agnostic as in completely open to it, understanding that religion has value and hoping that one day I could find some sort of support like God that I'd heard Christians talking about. It was like, that sounds fantastic, but I don't have that. And then that changed for me last August. And I think that there were a number of things that happened that opened my mind to the possibility of God. And I think having my dad as my dad was unbelievably helpful. And then I'm not sure how this resonates with a Christian audience, but I took a lot of psychedelics, and I do think the psychedelics opened my mind to the possibility that there was something there I couldn't see.
Interesting.
So I think that had a fairly large role to play. And then my mom got cancer and she almost died, and
So she's one of these idiots who's taken magic mushrooms and believed like everything she saw as being like real, and it's like, oh, God's real because I was on drugs and my brain wasn't working properly.
It was movie style bad, and I'm sure people who are listening have had family members get sick, and it is just a sick person in a hospital is horrible, right? And she was unbelievably sick, and she got this rare cancer that nobody gets, and there were no studies on it, and the death rate was 100%, and it was like, you have 8 months starting now and nothing helps. And it was like, really? She had to get a cancer that nobody.
By the way, Mikhaila got her mother to eat that stupid carnivore diet for 2 years.
God is real because of drugs, is she for real?
Yeah, really. She's that stupid. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. So Mikhaila got her mother to eat a carnivore diet for at least 2 years. And then after she was on the carnivore diet for at least 2 years, she got this cancer diagnosis. And what's funny is, red meat is highly correlated with the type of cancer she got. She got a rare form of kidney cancer that has an extremely high correlation with red meat intake. Dodo donators, while we're on Mikhaila Peterson.
You know, I was watching around on them YouTubes for some, diet advice. I've been trying to get into fitness and lose a bit of weight, get that beer belly, down. And I comes across this channel, Mikhaila Peterson, recommended that carnivore diet. And, you know, I like a good steak and everything. And if I can enjoy a good steak and lose my beer belly, I see that as a win-win. And I was seeing some of her workout routines. And damn, that little girl has a nice fine white ass. She's not overly plump or voluptuous, but damn, she just has a nice fine little white hiney there. And if she weren't married, oh boy, I'd teach that girl a thing or two about getting her ass ate. Now, of course, she's a nice fine Christian woman with a very fine father. Definitely respect that Jordan Peterson fella.
Yep. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
What he gets that kills you right away, right? Like, really? She wasn't that old. I think I could be off by a year, but like 57, right? It was like, that's not fair at all. And I watched, and that tore my family apart because it was so sudden, and it's, you know, my mom, and something happened to her in the hospital. So she had surgery, and the surgery didn't work the first time. And then she had surgery a second time. And then the doctor nicked a lymph node. And so she had to fly to the US to get surgery again. And it just, nothing was working. And at some part through that experience, she found God. And so she identifies as a Catholic at the moment. And a lady started visiting her in the hospital, and they were praying together. And
you know, it's funny how everybody finds God when they're on drugs or they're near death and their brain isn't functioning properly. And like, this is how people find God, when they're literally going retarded because they're either on drugs or their body is completely failing them and they're on their deathbed.
My mom's kind of demeanor changed. And so she just let go. And what she said was she let go of the control she was trying to have over, you know, the cancer. And then this is when things got like spooky weird in a way that I couldn't logically understand. And in July, she was in the hospital. She wasn't eating. She's being fed through a tube. It was bad. And she goes, "I'll be better by our anniversary." And my parents' anniversary, it's mid-August. And we're like, "Okay, Mom, you know, Mom's on morphine. You know, I'll be better by our anniversary." And she flew down to the States and had the surgery, and the surgery failed. And on their anniversary, she recovered, and nobody understood why, right? And all the doctors didn't understand why, and nobody understood why.
So let's see, she got surgery, she was on like chemotherapy or something. How did she get better? We used modern medicine to treat her. It doesn't make sense. God must have helped. Like, what? Sorry, if God is responsible for her recovery, can you explain to me why she got the cancer in the first place? So God gave her cancer and then cured her cancer for like no fucking reason? And for some reason, we're not attributing her recovery to modern medicine. Okay.
And it was kind of like, oh, that's a weird day. And you said that was going to happen a month ago. And how is that possible? And she was like, God. And I was like, okay.
Okay, well, if God did it, then why did you bother going to the doctors and getting treatment?
Not entirely sure how I can logic my way out of that, that experience. So that happened. And then we just had like 2 horrifying years after that. And my dad being in and out of hospitals with doctors misdiagnosing him, put on medications that were making him sicker. And just like, again, every single day was so awful that I couldn't believe it was happening. Right. And it was like too much. It didn't make any sense. And when that was happening, I thought it kind of felt like it was a 2-year thing, right? When I chose to help Dad, I thought I could just move to the US. I can do my podcast.
Is transfery porn on the agenda tonight? Or should I just leave now?
I don't think we're going to be watching any trans furry porn tonight, but thanks for the donation, Shinigami Wolf. Maybe next time.
I don't have to like deal with this. This is really ruining my life. It's really stressful. And I decided instead to like go full force and kind of do primary care and figure out what was going on with him and talk to the doctors. And at that time I was like, this feels like this is going to take 2 years every day.
Is it true there's a high correlation between certain ultra-processed foods, UPFs, and cancers or CVD, but not others? E.g., it appears plant-based meats and oatmeal don't contribute to diseases. What are some examples of UPFs that do? Also, will you unban Christie?
No, I don't have any plans to unban Christie. So, processed red meat seems to contribute to certain cancers, and I think all cancers combined more than other processed foods. So I think it's linked with pancreatic, esophageal, kidney, gastrointestinal cancers, and I think it's also associated. Oh yeah, and lung cancer. And I think there is a link between processed red meat and all combined cancers. So yeah, there are some processed foods that seem to be particularly cancer causing, like processed red meat. So like bacon, sausages, hot dogs, things like that. Thanks for the donation though, Unban Christie.
Good news, vegan gains. Have you ever heard of the vegan version of ChatGPT called Veg3AI? Well, it used to cost $15 per month to use, but now it's free to use. All you have to do is create an account for free. Here's the link, veg3.ai.
I'm not really particularly interested in using it, but that's cool. Thanks for the donation, Bendover. Dodo donated $2. Let me see.
Alright, poor people. I'm back. That's right. Here to provide.
This guy is a dishonest lying moron who scammed his viewers out of hundreds of thousands of dollars with a crypto scam. He also is a Russia supporter. This guy, I fucking hate Tech Lead. We'll watch that next.
For 2 years. And it did end up it took a little bit longer than that. But last summer, I'll speed it up. Last August, things were not good still. And so my dad was still sick. I was actually in the middle of a divorce, and there were a whole bunch of parts of my life that were just not working well. And I wasn't depressed. I've been depressed. I wasn't depressed, but I was like crying daily because life was really hard, not because I was depressed. And I flew to Austin because I was planning on relocating from Canada, and I met my...
Okay, that makes no sense to me, because she admitted she went on either an anti-anxiety or antidepressant medication. It might have technically been both, because SSRIs are used to treat both depression and anxiety. So she admitted this. She made a fucking video on her channel saying that, like, because of the cancer, that her mother's cancer, she was so depressed and anxious, she went back on her meds. So she's saying, oh yeah, I wasn't depressed, but then why were you taking antidepressants? Let me see. Yeah, she's fucking lying, dude. Let's see. I know I made a video about it. I'm not sure if, Hi everyone, so today I have a bit of an update on Mikhaila Peterson.
But I did try clonazepam a couple of times this summer.
Yeah,
admitting
that she's actually still been taking medications for anxiety. Mikhaila claims that the lion diet cured her autoimmune issues, her mood issues, she's off of all medications, and she's completely symptom-free. Well, literally only 3 days later, she...
Did Andrew Tate penetrate her, do you think? Also, I want to suck Oreo is cool's cock.
It's possible. So, Mikhaila Peterson says nothing happened. Andrew Tate has said nothing happened, but he kind of says so playfully. So, as far as I understand, she was either in the middle of a divorce or she had just gotten divorced when she met Andrew Tate. So it wouldn't surprise me if something romantic happened. She's also a fucking liar, so. And maybe Oreo is cool, let you suck his dick. Thanks for the donation, King Earth. She made another video admitting that she's actually still been taking medications for anxiety.
I'm pretty anti-pharmaceutical, and you guys know why, considering my background. But I did try clonazepam a couple of times this summer to try to stop panicking. It was not good.
So Mikhaila was just blatantly lying about the health benefits she claims to have received issues. Well, wait a second here. Before we go and accuse Mikhaila of lying, we have to establish what the truth is. And if the truth leads us down to a path of utter devastation and chaos, well, I'd say that's not much of a truth at all. And that's why you shouldn't listen to atheists like Sam Harris who try to argue that the truth ought to be a reflection of reality, which is really just an attempt to remove God from the dominance hierarchy. I recommend you all go and read my latest book, 13 Ways to Lie and Get Away with It, an antidote to skepticism. Yeah. Let me see, clonazepam. Clonazepam, commonly used to treat the following conditions: certain types of seizure disorders, epilepsy, panic disorder, with or without the fear of open spaces. So it's an anti-anxiety med that she was on. Yeah.
Husband in Austin, and he's Christian. He's been a Christian his entire life. His parents are Christians, and he's like super Christian compared to how I grew up. And he was like, "How are you doing?" And I was like, "Honestly, you know, I'm coping. I'm doing things, but I'm not doing well. Obviously, a bunch of bad things are happening all the time." And he was like, "Well, you need God." And I was like, "Yeah, that would be fantastic, but I don't have that. Like, how do I get that?" And he said, "Go home and pray and just ask God to reveal himself to you." And so I went back home and like prayed and was like, "Really, please, if you're out there, please show yourself." And the next day, and then I know like other people's experiences aren't this like obvious maybe, but for me, there were like 4 really parts of my life that were heading in a bad direction, and they all kind of turned to head in a better direction. So my dad called me and he was like, "Oh, I'm feeling better. We're on this diet for autoimmune disorders," and he'd gone back on the diet and it had started to help finally. So that happened. And then negotiating with my ex-husband kind of went in a more positive direction. And then there were 2 major work things, because there's a lot of, PR around my dad and just stressful things happening all the time. And they just went in the right direction. And it was like, well, that could have happened, I guess, but.
So she thinks because things worked out for her, God did it. I guess the Jews during the Holocaust just didn't pray hard enough, or maybe they weren't praying to the right God. That's why they were, massacred. What was it? 6 million Jews? So yeah, I guess God just decided, well, I'll let a few people, live if they pray to me, and I'll have some people's, personal issues work out if they pray to me, but the Jews, nah, fuck them. So I'm just gonna let 6 million of them die in fucking gas chambers.
I think that was God, and that was enough for me. I was like, things have been bad every day for years, like for my entire life, and I woke up.
It's just such it's narcissism to think that an all-powerful, all-knowing, being, oh, he's looking out for me. I'm so important that my little stupid personal issues, like my divorce, my mom has cancer. Oh, God, this all-powerful being's on my side. That's why my negotiation with my divorce worked out for me. But then you see, like, again, 6 million people get fucking massacred. Oh, I don't know. God works in mysterious ways. I'm just more important than 6 million other people that were brutally murdered in gas chambers. God just sees me as more important than them. He'll make all of my personal issues work out, but, you know, he won't protect 6 million Jews.
Feeling like calm and like kind of lifted, which I think was the Holy Spirit. I just felt a calm that I hadn't felt before. And then aspects of my life were improved, and things have been up and down since then, but I've always felt like comforted in a way I hadn't before.
Like, by the way, it's so funny too. Look at me, okay? I had horrible, crippling depression my entire life, and I went in the exact opposite direction of God. I became a nihilist, and ultimately what cured my depression was nihilism. Does God reward nihilists? Does God reward non-believers? I didn't have to pray to any God to, like, lift my depression and, you know, achieve peace and fulfillment and happiness. I guess God rewards non-believers who are fucking nihilists now. Like, it's just so stupid.
So that was last August.
Wow. That's such an interesting story. And I mean, you said obviously that your husband, who I understand is also a Christian, has been obviously a significant part of that. And is that a kind of, you know, a name you're happy to give yourself now, that you're a Christian and not just someone who believes in God generally, as it were?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I haven't taken like I saw somebody ask what denomination, and keep in mind, everybody here, that I'm still pretty new to this, but I haven't. I'd be not non-denominational at this point. I'm mostly just reading the Bible, so a lot, multiple times, and trying to understand as much as I can from that before figuring out anything more.
Yeah, well, that's a good place to start.
Oh my God. These people are just, you cannot help them. They're just beyond saving. They're so stupid, so delusional, and so self-centered. They literally think the universe revolves around them. Oh, the reason why things work out for me is because I'm more important than everybody else. I have some sort of divine magnificence in which God chooses to protect me and helps everything work itself out for me. Everybody else who dies of cancer, who gets shot, murdered, executed in some sort of mass killing, like when Hamas invaded Israel and killed 1,200 Jews, God doesn't care about them. But me, my little stupid personal problems, God cares about me, but nobody else. Fucking jackass.
I want to penetrate all three of them, but mostly the two on top.
Well, that's nice. Thanks for the donation, Ryan.
You my worldly wisdom on how to become successful, make some serious money out here. And the first thing to understand is, whatever it is you're doing, just stop. Right? You may have noticed I've stopped doing anything productive. Over the past few months, I haven't released a single video because I just realized...
Yeah, that's because you scammed your audience out of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crypto coin. So you're basically set now.
That it's just totally pointless to try to do anything nowadays when the government is inflating massive amounts of money, right? Like, you're out here trying to earn your dough, and then the government is just printing billions, trillions of dollars out there, just making this money out of thin air to dilute your work. They're just extracting all of your value. So why even bother?
Yeah, so who's to blame for that? Trump is the US president that he has increased the national debt more than any other fucking president, primarily because of his stupid fucking tax cuts. So, yeah, I wonder who you should vote for if this is a complaint.
Why try? It's a lot like being on the Titanic and then trying to study Java while the ship is sinking, or rearranging chairs doing your lead code, and just stop. right? Just stop. It's over.
Like again, I don't know why he's saying this when he scammed his audience out of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I know we all feel this need to try to be productive, work hard, hustle, grind. We're addicted to the pain, the struggle of putting in the hard work, but sometimes you mistake motion for action. And in this world of ADHD, the best thing you can do, the contrarian move, is to just do nothing. Just stop moving. Can anybody just do that? Hold still. Because the more you move, the more energy you're going to waste and the faster you're going to die. You're wasting your own resources out here. You're going to have to pay more for food. So you may be wondering what's new. Nothing. Absolutely nothing is new around here. I've been sitting around doing nothing, just staring at the blank screen all day. Because there's no work to do, really.
Okay, bro, just to give you an idea of the type of wealth Tech Leads has. Like, fuck, where are the fucking images? What's this asshole's actual name? Like, this guy has his own personal sailboat and shit. Yeah, there he is. This fucking jackass. Like, this guy has his own personal sailboat. This guy travels, goes around the world, does whatever the fuck he wants because he's rich, especially after the crypto scam that he pulled off. This guy's set for life, and then he's acting as if, life is so pointless. Oh, inflation. Oh, like, okay, cool, dude. You're a fucking millionaire. You're set for life. If he's not a millionaire, he's very goddamn close to it. He doesn't have to really worry about money, and then he's complaining after scamming so many people.
Except to just wait. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to get to $1 million, actually, because it's my only salvation around here. It's the only thing that can save me.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I've recognized that fact, whereas you have not. Many people have not. And they're still out there pretending, trying to struggle. I get it. I've been gone for a while. And you may be under the impression that I've just been slacking off around here with the lack of any new video content. You may think that I've just been hiking the Hawaiian Islands, going on Mexican cruises, or exploring Japan like I am now. And, well, I suppose you would be right. But you would be highly mistaken to think that I'm unproductive. In fact, I've been more productive than I've ever been in my whole entire life, more productive than most programmers, certainly. What have I been doing? I have been huddling, diamond handing, which is an incredibly difficult skill because it requires me to read news, reread news, and continue to convince myself to just sit still and do nothing instead of trading, buying, selling, getting in and out of positions. Sometimes the best thing to do is to just do nothing.
Yeah, look at this guy. He's going on luxury cruises. He's traveling all around the fucking world. He's rich, and then he's complaining about inflation.
And yes, that is considered work as well. It's not about how we're not. I'm way better. The world is now flooded with computer science degrees. Everyone's got one. I think computer science graduates have tripled within the last decade. And potatoes everywhere. Now,
okay, whatever. This guy's just a fucking jackass. I can't stand him.
Attempted to stop ProPublica from publishing one of its exposés on potential witness tampering by Trump, sending the journalistic outlet a cease and desist letter. Well, the plot failed, and now we're gonna share what Trump didn't want you to know about, didn't want you to see. So this detailed ProPublica piece, and it is detailed, it'll take you about 20 to 30 minutes to read it, describes how 9 people who have been named as witnesses in Trump's criminal cases received all sorts of goodies as long as they weren't cooperative with investigations. Now that's like the heart, the angle of this story. And the goodies that we're talking about include things like large pay raises, massive severance packages.
Sup, Richard? Did you watch Computex, like any of the new products? Out of 3 companies, only AMD had exciting products: new Ryzen 9000 CPUs, 15 to 35% performance increase. Nvidia seemed ashamed to talk about gaming, it's all AI now.
Well, that's their biggest cash cow. So Nvidia isn't making most of their money from gaming anymore. It's their They're selling like these really, really expensive GPUs for AI acceleration.
Okay, I should be more clear. I'm just talking about plant-based UPFs. We know that some don't contribute to disease, such as plant-based meats, the ones that fall under UPFs, or NE, and oatmeal. What are examples of plant-based UPFs that contribute to disease?
So coconut oil and palm oil would contribute to heart disease. So anything that has those products in them. So like Oreos, for instance. Oreos are technically vegan, but they're basically just pure sugar and palm oil. So the palm oil in Oreos would certainly contribute to heart disease. And the processed sugar, it's terrible for your teeth. It can cause unfavorable changes to your lipid score, particularly triglycerides, shit like that. Thanks for the donation, though, Unbanned Christie.
AMD just announced its new Zen 5 CPUs today, including the 9950X. They had several others as well, and also...
Yeah, if I upgrade my computer in the near future, I'd probably just upgrade to a AMD system. This is just all AMD shit.
So more AM4 CPUs. So they still haven't stopped shipping the last generation sockets. But in addition to that, they've announced an expectation of, on average, a 16% IPC uplift for the GeoMean. It's as low as 10% in the slide they presented, up to 35 or so. And below. We'll get straight into this one today, no BS. AMD was very straightforward with its pre-briefing with us. They have a keynote as well that Lisa Su should be hosting. If there's anything major in there that wasn't in the pre-briefing, then we'll either cover it separately or post a comment below. But we think we got pretty much everything from the pre-brief that's going to be immediately relevant to our audience. This is going to be the fastest possible recap we can do because we're in the middle of the show. It's all kind of chaos right now. So for July 2024, these include the...
Let's see. 5.7, 5.6 gigahertz max boost. That doesn't really mean much. Yeah, no one. The fucking boost thing is absolute horseshit. What's his name? JZ2cents did a video on like how overclocking is dead now because of this like max boost bullshit. They'll put in their spec sheet that the max boost is like 5.7 and it'll reach 5.7 for like 2 seconds and then it will clock down to like 5.2 or 5.3. And what overclocking is now is just trying to achieve max boost for like longer. That's all it really is. You're not actually getting any more performance out of the CPUs because they're just cranking them to the absolute limit at the factory.
What do you think of Dr. Mike? Tell him he should go vegan.
Which Dr. Mike? You mean Mike Israetel or the DCO Dr. Mike? I'm assuming you're talking about the DCO, Dr. Mike. He actually gives accurate information, and he's a good like on his YouTube channel. He does provide good, accurate medical information, and when he debates people like Dr. K, he does a pretty reasonable job at, you know, pushing them on their stupid pseudoscience bullshit. I think he could have done a better job with debating Dr. K because he doesn't know enough about Dr. K's bullshit to really ask hard questions. So he could have done better there. When he debated Dr. Grundy, he actually had Dr. Daniel Belardo with him, and he knew that he needed some additional expertise to debate Grundy. So he knows his shit, and when he doesn't know enough, he's usually aware that he doesn't know enough, and he asks for additional help from other experts. So I appreciate that about him. Yeah, but he's not vegan, so he's like a jackass. But other than that, he's a pretty good science educator as far as that sort of thing goes on YouTube. Thanks for that donation, CLJ.
The R9 9950X, R9 9900X, R7 9700X, and R5 9600X, not counting the non-AM5 CPUs that we mentioned earlier, of up to 5.7 gigahertz, which AMD 7950X also claims. The 9900X is also about the same as the 7900X, except for TDP, which is lower. That has it more efficient than the 7900X, as it has otherwise comparable specs at a lower power level, assuming AMD used the same variables that it.
All right. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the 590 from NVIDIA.
New jobs and promotions, and even shares and cash from Trump's media company. Those shares, I don't know how much they're gonna be worth, so cash in if you can. Cash in as soon as possible. Now, one campaign aide had his average monthly pay double from $26,000 to $53,500. That's monthly pay. Another
Dude, it's making a lot more sense why there's so many of these like pro-Trump tards that surround Trump. It pays off. Trump is like actually giving people big financial rewards for backing him.
Another employee got a $2 million severance package barring him from voluntarily cooperating with law enforcement. And one of the campaign's top officials had her daughter hired onto the campaign staff, where she is now the 4th highest paid employee. I guess it pays to be loyal to Trump. Now, the
clearly.
timing of these pay raises and other financial benefits also raises some eyebrows. One aide, for instance, was granted a position on the board of Trump's social media company after he was subpoenaed, but before he testified.
Doug Johnny Tillers, who the fuck is Christy? She was a woman in chat who was a carnist degenerate that everybody wanted banned because she was uploading videos of her eating KFC. So we banned her. Thanks for the donation, Doug. She also had a stink.
Come on, it's so brazen.
It's so brazen.
I know, but you see, here's the thing. He's gonna get away with it, of course, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do? Like, if he was a normal criminal defendant, oh, they'd add so many charges on top. You're trying to bribe witnesses. Oh, you got the subpoena, then your pay increases before you go to test. Come on, this is a layup, right? But they're not gonna bring these charges.
I don't know if they would technically count as briberies. Like, I'm sure Trump wasn't personally responsible for some of these like cash incentives. So they probably aren't briberies, which is why they're not going to charge him.
Because the MAGA guys would cry uncontrollably. He flooded the zone with so much criminality.
Lawyers, and so were these lawyers that were called to testify against Trump?
Pausing here to so many of his lawyers were also defendants and witnesses because they signed papers. One of them signed a paper saying that Trump didn't have any more boxes when they definitely knew that he did have boxes, and you can't do.
Would you debate Bartholomew K again? Where would you rank him amongst your enemies?
I never ended up debating him because he debated 2 other people. One of them was Dr. Ricky, the other was Michelle Lowe. And immediately after debating them, he doxed them both. So I didn't want to get doxed, so I ended up not debating him. Dr. K is a crazy, delusional whack job who is just trying to make money by spouting stupid, delusional bullshit about the carnivore diet. And I mean, he's admitted as such. He's like said the only reason he's on YouTube is to make money. He has like Patreon supporters, and he's not particularly well off financially because he, again, self-admittedly has a form of autism that makes him extremely antisocial. It makes it hard for him to hold down a job. So he's just doing this whole scam to get money from like Patreon donators, and he's made several videos talking about how if more people don't donate to him on Patreon, he's shutting down his YouTube channel. So it's all It's all to get Patreon money. I don't even know if he believes half of what he says. He doesn't seem to have any real rigid epistemic standards. So he's just fucking a complete whack job. Thanks for the donation, though, Succulent Cock.
Do that. Others, you can't tell your lawyer that you committed a crime. That's why a lot of times crafty lawyers will tell you, don't tell me anything. Let me tell you a story and then you tell me whether that's true.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, you can't tell your lawyer that you committed a crime?
No.
I didn't know that.
No. Yeah. And so
I thought lawyers knew that some of their clients committed the crime.
So if you have a client that has been alleged to commit a crime, like let's use murder as an example, and you go to a lawyer and say, look, I did in fact murder this person, but I want you to help me prove to the court that I didn't commit murder. So help me craft some story about how I wasn't here at the certain time that would work as an alibi to prove that, you know, I didn't actually commit the murder. They cannot actually they can't lie for you in court. So, and I'm pretty sure they actually have a legal responsibility where if you do admit this, they actually have to tell the court that you've said these things. I'm pretty sure they're obligated to admit if their client has admitted to them that they've committed the crime. So, what's the technical term? I can't remember the technical term, but there's certain people, if you're in law enforcement, if you're a lawyer, I think if you're a doctor, you actually have to report if a crime was committed. So if you're ever in a situation like that where you're talking to a lawyer, don't ever admit to them that you committed a crime. They'll have to report to the court that you did in fact commit the crime.
Well, they know, but,
okay,
yeah, I think it's like obligated reporter or something. Under Section 125 of the Child Youth Family Services Act, every person who has reasonable grounds to suspect that a child is or in need of protection must promptly report the suspicion. It's there's another term for it.
Technically they don't. Okay. And especially if you're gonna, and obviously this is, I think it's fairly clear, but if you're gonna commit a crime, you definitely can't tell your lawyer. Lawyer has an obligation to report it if you're gonna commit a crime.
Interesting, okay, good to know, good to know.
Yeah, so when Trump goes into his lawyer, he's like, well, why don't you just lie in court and say I don't have the boxes when I have the boxes right here as we can both see. The lawyer's like, all right, well, I'm screwed. Okay, so then he's like, oh, maybe you need more money.
But also, can I just...
Again, to be fair, I'm not positive about those particular lawyers that got the raises.
For those out there who are just hardcore Trump loyalists, Trump fans, Trump supporters, I'm just dying to know, and I want to talk to an honest actor who will honestly tell me the truth. Do you ever get super frustrated with him? Because okay, let me focus on a politician that I favor. I love Bernie Sanders. He's not perfect, he's a flawed politician, but out of all the politicians we've got in Congress, he's one of my favorites because he seems very principled, right? If he was consistently doing things and saying things that was getting him in trouble, I would be endlessly annoyed with him. I'd be so frustrated. And do these people not feel not only did these payments and goodies get paid out to witnesses in his criminal cases, but then after the fact, after his campaign knew that this ProPublica expose.
People were expecting Nvidia to announce 5090 this Computex, but they didn't. Now Terry's rumors that they nerfed it to also release 5090 T later to milk even more money when Rena 5 comes out. Also Intel will be releasing second gen GPUs for mid to high range.
I wasn't expecting them to announce the 590. They seem to have been delaying it for quite a bit, so it's not particularly surprising. Yeah, Intel isn't going to have any good CPUs out for quite a while, too. Thanks for that donation, though, Proud Lolicon.
It was going to be published. They send out a cease and desist letter, which makes the story even juicier, right?
Yeah, it's a classic Trump blunder. But that question you asked, I've actually asked on Twitter many times, and I actually have a decent number of MAGA guys following me to troll me because they hate me and all that stuff, right? And interestingly enough, some of them give honest answers. So you get the usual, about 2/3 in that case, super rough, my reading of it, right? Going, oh no.
Somewhat attached to reality, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If I go and order a coffee and I
Think I'm going to end the stream here because it is fairly late. But I hope you all had fun. I will be streaming at the usual time tomorrow night around 8, so I'll see you all then. Let me see, Alawali donated $3.
If you kill animals, you are barbarian. Tiny little slug brain, thinking plants can feel pain, pointing at your own teeth, lion bold grief. It's very easy to just eat plants. Go vegan, you're going to go vegan, go vegan. I'm going to fuck your dad.
Nice. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Alawali. Yeah, so I should be on tomorrow night around the usual time, and it'll just be longer normal stream. I had to train today, and I didn't end up doing the training until later in the day, so that's why I did the training stream, just so I could, stream for longer tonight, but tomorrow it'll just be a longer normal stream. But I hope you all had fun. Big thanks to everybody who donated in Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. And sweet dreams. See you all tomorrow.